and solutions with no relief. And now you're pretty much resigned to living with the pain. But do not give in to the pain. Instead, come to the Good Feet store for their end-to-end 3-step arch support system. Good Feet is the nation's largest manufacturer and retailer of personalized arch supports, with arch supports in over 300 sizes, styles, and flexibilities, and an arch support specialist in each store. Come in today for a free, no-obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk around the store or around the center. Experience the comfort, balance, and support possible with the Good Feet system. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now in Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings made a splash during the NBA draft last night.
Sacramento is trading center Richuan Holmes and the 24th pick to Dallas. This is the Mavericks picking now.
With the trade of Richuan Holmes, the Kings now have almost $45 million available in free agency, with $31 million in cap space and access to the full $12.5 million mid-level exception. Sacramento traded up to pick 34 in the second round to select Xavier guard Colby Jones and selected Furman's Jalen Slauson with the 54th pick in the draft. Those are your headlines. It's time to break down that NBA draft with Whitey, Gleason, and Chris Watkins.
First of all, apologies. I was going to wear my Grady Dick red sequin coat, and I couldn't find it. I'm really sorry.
That's a miss on you, Whitey. It's unfortunate. I don't know if you know, but we're also on YouTube right now.
I know.
It would have been helpful for the views. They would have loved to see it.
I know that. And I was like, I'll go get it and put it on today. It's like, wait. It must be the dry cleaners. I don't know.
I appreciate it because now I can look at you without being blinded like I'm looking at the sun. So I appreciate you not wearing the Grady Dick outfit, but the YouTube audience is absolutely disappointed.
So you know the story of that, right? Why supposedly he wore it?
I think I heard something about Wizard of Oz.
Yes,
is that
Dorothy's,
correct?
Ruby slippers, and he went to Kansas. That was in Kansas,
and now he's no longer in Kansas anymore.
Yeah, not in Kansas. Yeah. There you go.
He's not in this country anymore.
He's not in this country,
right?
I hope he's got his passport.
Yeah,
I guess I see the corollary there. I guess I can connect the dots, but
you're just drafted out because you and J. Ross did. And you did such a great job covering the draft last night, right? Yeah. So you're just a little
bit drafted out.
A little irritable about some of this stuff.
Yeah, some of this stuff. It's like Grady Dick. It's like, okay, the Wembanyama thing. Oh yeah, he's big. Okay, I get it. Yeah, I'm good.
Did you see the picture of all the? I guess it was all the first rounders.
Oh no, I didn't.
He's standing behind the commissioner. And it looks like, he's one of the counselors at the kids' camp because he just towers over all.
I haven't seen that picture yet. I got to look at that because also I still haven't looked at everyone's fits from yesterday. Obviously, Grady Dick's outfit was out of control. Scoot Henderson's outfit I actually thought was like a nice in-between of like just something standard and timeless, but also a little bit of the flair with the diamond encrusted jacket. So, I definitely need to take a look at that because I haven't seen anybody's outfits. And I'm assuming you did. What was Wemby wearing? Because I can't imagine it's easy to find clothes for a guy who's as massive as he is.
Yeah, I wasn't really paying that much attention, but I think it was
it fitted at least?
Traditional. Yeah, and I think it was a pretty traditional look, pretty conservative. My thing at the draft every year is these guys, they wear such incredibly nice clothes. Then they got to put the stupid cap on.
The stupid cap on.
And those caps are nice. You're just
I
not
disagree. I don't like the hats.
I don't.
Nine times out of 10, I'm like, this is an ugly hat.
Basketball players don't wear hats. But okay, if you're gonna have those guys wear hats, they should give everybody a choice. Look, we don't know what you're gonna wear. There's 4 caps you can choose. Yep. You let us know what you need. You need like a Kangol, like Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
You need like a fedora,
Shout out LL,
or you can go ball cap if you want, or then something fancier. I don't know. Beanie or something. I don't know.
Beanie, maybe a top hat or something.
Yeah, a top hat would be great.
What do you do for the people who have like hair that's in a giant afro and the cap won't fit on their head? Do you go with the top hat? Do you go with the Kangol?
What's up to them?
You do the De'Aaron. You got that's what the visors are for.
Yes.
You got to have visors ready.
Yeah.
Lucas Nogueira, I believe, was a player who was drafted in the late 2010s. He had like a massive afro. He just plop that thing right on top. Sometimes, you don't gotta smush the hair. You just gotta get it on top of the head.
Anyway, we'll get to
half of them are wrong anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I know. You mean where it's like, well, he's not really playing for that.
Exactly. I mean, there's pictures of Olivier Masson's Prosper wearing Kings hats, and that's going to live forever now.
Not just Kings hats, but Kings purple
and
black.
Right, he's got the Kings purple as well. Yeah, it seemed like he might have had an idea that the Kings were high on him, but
so what did the Kings accomplish yesterday? A little bit underwhelming in some respects. Sure. On the other hand, a little bit enticing. Ooh, they could be storing up money for the war chest to go after somebody really exciting.
Yeah.
Where are we
The
today?
vibe from yesterday was definitely, especially after moving Richuan Holmes' contract and clearing up all that cap space, it seems like the move before the move. Like it's the thing that's setting something up big, or at least making it open for the Kings to really open up their options in terms of what they want to do this offseason. We've obviously heard them in tons of different trade rumors from Bradley Beal, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby. I'm sure those trade talks will just get bigger and bigger now that Kings are a cap team, and also not even just as the main receiver of one of these big guys, but in a Damian Lillard trade, can the Kings get involved as the third team? Maybe those guys need to salary dump someone, and the Kings are right there to take on a player. They just gave themselves a lot of flexibility, whether that be trying to go out and find a Harrison Barnes replacement in free agency, again, the trade market as well. They just really open things up for what they can do in the future now, and I think it's a really, really good spot. It sucks that you have to attach a first-round pick to get rid of that Richuan Holmes contract, but it is what it is. And, at the end of the day, I think the Kings are better for it.
I know that now the Kings have been linked even to Draymond. First of all, you said weeks ago that you wouldn't mind having him here. Yeah. And now Brian Windhorst, I know Jay Ross and the other guy on that show, they were talking about it earlier today. So it seems like maybe there's a little bit of a wind in that sail. We'll see whether that's just Brian Windhorst.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. This could make sense for if he knows something. What concerns me, though, about that, and also the Bradley Beal talk, obviously Bradley Beal went elsewhere, but to me, maybe I'm wrong. To me, my read is Monty McNair he makes more methodical moves. Like Colby Jones is a great example. Yeah. I mean, Colby Jones is a solid player who does a lot of things, and he's probably going to help you. He's not going to put you over the top, but that's a methodical, solid, incremental move towards improvement. The talk about guys like Bradley Beal and maybe even Draymond, to me, that doesn't seem like the Monty way. And that's what concerns me.
Yeah, I agree. I think more in the sense of just those are really big swings. And again, like when we were talking about them, those are moves that's your move and that's it. You don't really have any other pivot moves. You don't have any additive moves on top of that. Like that would have, if the Kings would have acquired Bradley Beal, even with the home salary dump, they still would have been capped out, and it would have been just really hamstringing what they could do moving forward in the future. And it seems to me, and the point that you're getting at here, is Monty McNair is a lot more calculated than that, it seems. It doesn't seem like Monty McNair would be the all-in kind of guy.
Right.
And I know he's from the Morey school of logic, where if there's a star out there, you have to kick the tires on it because stars are the most valuable thing in the NBA. But to me, it does – I'm not going to go as far as saying this is Vivek in Monty's ear, but it does ring a little bit of – this is probably possibly an owner that's in his ear saying we need to get a
somebody
third guy.
Maybe getting a little impatient.
Maybe exactly. Maybe getting a little impatient and saying, all right, well, how do we take the next step instead of really trying to slowly, methodically build this thing out? And it could be a 1-year process, could be a 2-3 year process. But it does seem like moves like trading for Bradley Beal and potentially going all in on Draymond Green would be something that might not be what you would think Monty McNair would do in the past.
I could see the upside in bringing in Draymond Green.
Absolutely.
I can.
Let's talk about
However, to me, two things. One, I don't think he's going to come here.
I don't either.
And I don't think it behooves you to, especially when there's so many things going on and you have to make some important decisions. I don't think this dalliance with Draymond, if he is not seriously considering coming here, it doesn't do you any good to do that dance if he's going to eventually say, great, thanks, I appreciate it, but I'm staying.
Well, you can't
waste that much time on it. The other thing is, I don't know if you think that but if Monty or anybody thinks the Kings are so close to being a championship team that Draymond Green puts you over the top, I think you're overvaluing how good your team is right now and also how good he is.
Yeah, no, frankly, that's very true. Like I don't think the Kings are at that point where Draymond Green makes them a title contender. And also Draymond Green is, I've supported Draymond Green coming here to Sacramento, but also I have to acknowledge the fact that he is on the decline. Like, we're not getting anywhere near the best version of Draymond Green that we've seen in the past. Like, this is going to be a very, a very reduced version of Draymond Green, a guy who's lost a half a step or a full step after already being one of the slower guys. Defensively, it'll be interesting to see how he ages, if he's still able to kind of have the same impact while not being the same athlete that he was when he was younger in his career. I don't think it's a perfect fit, but I think that it's something I'm interested in the Kings kicking the tires on, but I don't think that it's something that they should go all in and think, okay, we got Draymond Green. That's going to be the move with this core of guys that we have right now. And Kyle pointed out yesterday when we were doing the draft show, as it currently stands, and Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, as it currently stands, the Kings only have 6 people signed on to their team right now, and that's not including Kessler Edwards, who has his player option, and I believe, Kyle, also PJ Dozier, correct?
6 guaranteed contracts right now.
Yes.
Because it's basically right now De'Aaron, Davion, Domantas Sabonis, Keegan Murray, Malik Monk, Kevin Huerter. Those are the guys, and then Kessler Edwards, they'll accept his team option, and PJ Dozier's contract isn't guaranteed.
I could see Andre Iguodala going, Dre, here's what you do. You talk to Sacramento. I did the same thing years ago.
I was going to say this as well.
And then you talk to them and you hear what they have to say. And ultimately, it's only going to help you get more money from Joe.
It's in the back of my mind. I'm letting you know right now that thought crossed my mind that Andre Iguodala literally did this same exact thing with Sacramento. And, Monty McNair wasn't there to see it. Vivek obviously was, but this could be exactly what Andre Iguodala did to leverage more money out of Joe Lacob,
That's the way you play the game.
Which was, I will go to Sacramento. It's not far. There's, I can go have a role over there, and they might value me even more than they value me here. So Golden State, what are you going to do about it? Or else you're going to have all of your fans wondering why you let me go, 90 miles down the way to go contribute to their winning while you're maybe floundering about trying to replace me and just kind of dying out. And it would be and if the Kings were to meet the Warriors again in a playoff series and have Draymond Green and take them down, I mean that's Warrior fans would not be happy.
The only thing that would make me think differently is if Mike Brown were telling anybody who asked in the front office, if we have him, we're there. I don't believe that, but obviously he knows his team a little better than I do. As you say, there's a lot of voids that they got to fill right now, a lot of holes you have in this roster.
Right.
I don't think he's that good. So I just think, and I don't think he seriously wants to leave. I'm sure Draymond enjoys this whole process, and it's just getting started. But ultimately, I don't think the Kings have the luxury of going through an elongated process with Draymond. They got to get down to business here.
Absolutely.
Things done.
If they want to, use that money on a big name or whatever, even fill out their roster, they can't wait around for Draymond to do this dance and to wait out and to accept all or, receive all offers, because Harrison Barnes, again, he's not going to be waiting around for that, especially if they're throwing that money at Draymond Green. Harrison's going to say, I don't want to go there. So I think that, if they're going to get that done, it's got to be done quickly. But if it's going to be done quickly, then that tells me that the Kings are going to throw a lot of money at him. And I just agree. I agree with you that they're not a Draymond Green piece away from really contending.
Coming up, were we witnessing yesterday the beginning of the end of college basketball? 3 things that really popped about the 2023 draft are next on Chris and Company, Watkins and Whitey, Sactown Sports.
The King season might be over, but Sactown sports coverage never stops.
Returning is honestly my number one priority. Be a part of something special.
Stay tuned all off season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 Presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at AcuraofStockton.com.
With the first pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Victor Wembanyama. With the second pick, the Charlotte Hornets select Brandon Miller. Third pick, the Portland Trailblazers select Scoot Henderson from Marietta, Georgia. With the fourth pick, the Houston Rockets select Amen Thompson. With the fifth pick, the Detroit Pistons select Asar Thompson from Oakland, California, an overtime elite.
That wasn't bad. I did a better job myself when I used to do that.
You
when
like
I used
the
to introduce the players.
Yes, absolutely.
This is
we miss you, David.
Chris and company, Watkins and Whitey. Yeah, how about that? Twins getting selected back to back.
Yeah,
I tried to tell you, Chris, that it was gonna be Miller going second, not Scoot.
You did. You've been on that. You, to your credit, you were
Doesn't
always
mean it was
saying
the right move.
No,
but
I
thought it was gonna happen.
Still don't agree with it, but
Yeah.
no, you were on that. You know. Michael Jordan, you and Michael Jordan, one in the same basketball mind. You know, I've always said it, and it just comes out to fruition today.
Do you have that Mitch Kupchak quote on that, Kyle? We'll get that. Mitch Kupchak apparently
incredible.
I guess when he was asked about the pick, he just basically had nothing.
Had nothing to
he
say.
wanted to say I didn't agree with it without saying he didn't agree with it.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, we'll have to play the audio, but it's like he's trying to find words, and then as he's just like, you know what, just next question. I can't. I'm looking at the picture. Don't mean to hard pivot here, but I'm looking at the picture of all these draft guides.
Yeah.
And I see Grady Dick. He sticks out like a sore thumb, obviously, with his red outfit. Have you ever seen Zoolander?
Yeah.
The Ben Stiller movie?
Mm-hmm.
He looks like Mulatu, like the Will Ferrell character.
What is this? A school for ants?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Exactly. He's got very big Mulatu vibes from Grady Dick last night. It just looks like an evil villain almost.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out on Grady Dick for that exact reason. And Amari Bailey. I don't know if you saw Amari Bailey yesterday. Showed up with just a suit jacket, didn't have a shirt on under.
Yeah.
Also had like a really, really long pearl
necklace. It was weird because I was wearing the exact same thing when I was watching.
Like, at least you're at home.
Yeah.
My thing is like, you're in front of like 15,000 people right now, and you're like, yeah, I look good with this suit jacket, no shirt, and a big old pearl necklace.
Just like Amari Bailey, I think Whitey has the body to pull it off.
Well, thanks.
Very true.
Yeah,
very
thank
true.
you. Here was Mitch Kupchak trying to explain why the Hornets chose Miller and not Scoot with the second pick.
Well, everything that every answer they got, we got to every question. I would say, he is a freshman, right? So, he's a little bit, I would say younger than, I wouldn't say younger. Nah, I better not even go in that direction, actually. I'll just back off.
And that's it. So
that's the first time I've heard that. That is unbelievable.
First time I heard about it, but that's the first time I actually heard it.
It is quite literally unbelievable, Kyle. Like that is the general manager. That's the guy who was supposed to make the pick.
If you read between the lines, to me, what I hear there is, look, I want another job.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything to do with this. Please don't blame this. I'm not responsible for this. Now you understand, technically I'm still employed as a GM, so I can't tell you what I really think, but you get what I'm saying, right? Yeah.
I'm just stating, it literally only stated facts. It was like, I mean, we drafted him.
Yeah.
He's
younger.
He's 19.
He's not really
so
younger.
Yeah,
No,
he's younger, but I guess he's not really younger. You know what? I honestly don't know what I'm saying.
I want
Next
to
question.
play the second half of this again because it's
Please.
genuinely incredible.
Please.
You know, I would say, you know, he is a freshman, right? So, you know, he's a little bit, you know, I would say younger than, excuse me, I wouldn't say younger. Nah, I better not even go in that direction, actually.
Nah, you know what? Nah, you know what? Nah.
Is this right? Like,
right?
right?
Yeah, right. Right.
Okay.
He was a freshman, right? Again, like I didn't really do much of the research on him. That was more of the MJ portion of things. He just told me show up and sign on the dotted line.
So
he's a freshman.
I can answer his question for him. Brandon Miller was born in November of 2002, and Scoot Henderson was born in February of 2004.
Okay.
Scoot is a full year and 3 months younger than Brandon Miller.
So I guess he's not really younger. I guess.
Yeah.
So why do we take? Never mind. Next question. Is Michael talking tonight? Please.
Yeah,
No?
we'll talk more about them at the bottom of the hour because they're one of the two I think most unhappy fan bases today. The day after that draft,
Just ask the mascot.
A couple of things that jumped out to me, and I know you weren't able really to watch the draft because you were actually part of the coverage here on Sactown Sports. There were a few surprises. Right? I mean,
for sure. I think the biggest one to me was I was not expecting Bilal Coulibaly to be taken at number 7. He ended up going to the actual number 8 team, but to me that really set the tone for what ended up being the Cam Whitmore downfall as well.
Right?
Where Cam Whitmore, we were hearing, last week, maybe top 4 pick, maybe won't go past 10 and then falls all the way down to 20. So those are really the biggest surprises to me.
Yeah. So no real surprises. Also, you mentioned Coulibaly going 7th. So 5 of the first 7 guys were not NCAA players.
Yeah, that's interesting to me. And, that's Overtime Elite, that's G League Ignite, and then that's France as well.
Oui.
And it's
not in my new car, you don't.
I think I heard Kyle say it yesterday, and I agree with it completely, that it seems more of a trend than just a random occurrence. It definitely feels like
no question.
Something that where this is the direction that the NBA is heading in whatever way possible. Like it's not a direct route, but I think frankly, it's kind of crazy to say, but I think LaMelo Ball actually really opened up the door for you don't have to go to college in order to be still recognized as a top prospect.
Brandon Jennings tried that, remember, years
he
ago.
Did try
and it didn't really take.
Didn't.
I think it's probably bad in some ways for the NCAA, but I think it's good for basketball.
Yeah, as someone who enjoys the culture of college basketball, I don't like it. Like I was thinking yesterday I think there would have been a chance for the Thompson twins, maybe even more specifically Amen, to be like a top 2 or 3 pick if he would have gone to college. Maybe I just think there wasn't enough hype around him. There's not conversation. I mean, could you imagine the stories that would have been told throughout the college basketball season of, the Thompson twins are leading wherever, Indiana to a Final Four run or anything like that. Like that kind of hype, you're never going to get that in an overtime elite. Like what the Thompson twins won the overtime elite championship. And I think they hit a game winner, as a matter of fact, to win the championship and won the finals MVP of that league. Nobody cared. Nobody knew. Nobody cared. And just the weight that college basketball, frankly, just still has in terms of media, I think is really important still. And absolutely, the kids make whatever decision you want. It's your life. It's your path. You don't have to go, live under the college rules or anything like that. But I just think it's overall bad for basketball culture, essentially, in America.
I understand that. I think more foreign players is great for the game. But let me walk back what I said about it's good for the game because, to your point, we don't know yet, but players that come out of G League Ignite, Overtime Elite, are they learning the game or are they just honing their own skills?
Right.
Are they becoming better basketball players? And we don't know the answer to that. If they're not, then that's bad for the game. If it's better, if players learn how to play better by playing in college, then it's an alarming trend, but we don't know yet. Overall, all the international guys, I think is really good.
I think that's great. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's just a sign of the game growing. And obviously, that's just development. But when you have guys in the overtime elite, like to me, G League Ignite is okay. At least it's still under the NBA umbrella, and you're still playing guys who are on the fringe of the NBA. But when we're talking about overtime elite, like, what's the difference between that and like the what was LeVar Ball's league that he tried to get going?
Big
like
baller league.
Yeah, the big baller league. Like what's really the difference from those? And that could be my ignorance, but it's just like, and then Shaden Sharp last year as well. To me, the problem is you just can't evaluate the talent properly. Like, when you see guys in college, you understand what that system brings and the challenges that it brings, and you just have a better understanding of contextually, like, oh, I can compare what he did here to what these people have done the past 30, 40, whatever years.
Right.
But against overtime elite guys, like,
but I'm sure
who are they?
I'm sure you would agree. I mean, as far as the individual goes, it's like, wait, you're college basketball, you're the farm system for the NBA. You don't give me anything.
Right.
I mean, now I have NIL rights, but I can go here and get paid while I'm learning my craft.
Yeah.
The third and final thing, and I hate to say this because I have a little bit of an idea how hard this is. I thought the ESPN draft coverage was terrible.
I've heard that.
was
awful. A lot of people are upset with just like, it just wasn't covered well at all. Like from head to toe, just nothing about it.
They're talking about why the Kings drafted Omax when they've already shown that he's not going to be on the Kings. It's like, how do you not know it when I know it by watching your show? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, the whole broadcast thing just doesn't really work out in terms of like people knowing the picks ahead of time and it not being on schedule.
And interviews with the parents are like, everyone is identical.
We just don't need
How
it
happy
either.
are you? Okay. Hey, parents, how proud of you? Somebody's mom said, very proud.
Very proud.
Yeah, very proud.
I mean, yeah, these parents aren't these are normal people as well. Like these are school teachers. They're not meant to be interviewed on ESPN and give some long answer about how much they love their son.
I don't blame them, but I just feel like there's got to be something else you can show me, more highlights or something. They're trying to Disneyfy the whole thing.
Yes.
This is such a great human interest story.
No, come on, Disney, stay out of my sports. Come on, Mickey.
Coming up next.
Boy.
Oh boy. Yeah, you must be very proud, huh? Ha, yeah, that's what the last guy said. Oh,
that's pretty good.
We'll have a Mickey off at some point.
Coming up here, there are some teams that finished behind the Kings that had a lot of fun last night, and it's a little unsettling, I think, if you're a Kings fan. It's next. Chris and company. Oh boy.
See you later.
Watkins and Whitey, Sactown Sports.
Right. So, he's a little bit, I would say younger than, I wouldn't say younger. I better not even go in that direction.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Cal Hope.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Friday forecast looking mainly sunny with light southwest winds. We'll have afternoon temperatures in the upper 70s to about 80 degrees with overnight lows in the mid 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. CalHope can help. Access CalHope's free and secure mental health resources today. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org.
Did you know that money market accounts offer higher dividends than a traditional savings account, all while still being able to access your money at any time? Hey, Jason Ross here, and I want to tell you to step up your earning power with a Level Up money market savings account at Safe Credit Union. With competitive dividend rates, you can take your savings to the next level. Visit safecu.org/levelup for more information and to open up an account today. Insured by NCUA.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Since 1776, July 4th has been celebrated as the birth of American independence, but it's been a federal holiday only since 1941. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. It was a mere 7 years later when the Keys family opened their first Naturewood store in Sacramento, and I guess Northern Californians have been celebrating ever since. We celebrate an incredible selection of furniture brands made right here in America. We celebrate the kind of generous hometown hospitality that was important to Walter Keys in 1948 and continues with the Keys family and the Naturewood Home Furnishing staff today. And we celebrate the kind of quality that's been synonymous with Naturewood for all these 74 years. Look for Made in America brands like Stanton, Sam Moore, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and more during the Naturewood 4th of July sale event. Find the furniture that you will celebrate for years to come. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel. Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical pool, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Attic Man Heating and Air Conditioning, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is, live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Everyone knows that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers, and that's especially true when it comes to your air conditioning system.
A precision tune-up and professional cleaning costs a little bit up front, just $87, but will prevent much bigger, more expensive, and inconvenient problems later.
We actually replace systems all the time from people who don't get annual tune-ups. They either forget or they just don't realize it's important. So instead of their systems lasting 12 or more years like they should, they need to be replaced in just 6 or 7 years.
Don't risk it. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Call Bell Brothers for an $87 air conditioner precision tune-up today and keep your system clean, energy efficient, and in good working shape.
Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
No surprise guys, Bell Brothers.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings made a big trade during the NBA draft.
Sacramento is trading center Richuan Holmes and the 24th pick to Dallas. This is the Mavericks picking now at 24.
The Sacramento Kings traded Richuan Holmes and now have almost $45 million available, with $31 million in cap space and access to the full $12.5 million mid-level exception. Sacramento traded up to pick 34 in the second round to select Xavier guard Colby Jones and selected Furman's Jalen Slauson with their 54th pick in the second round. Sacramento also signed Virginia Tech's Justin Mutz to a summer league contract. Those are your headlines. It is currently 10:33, which means it's time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. Now let's return to Whitey Gleason and Chris Watkins on a Friday here on Chris and Company.
Chris, I know you did a ton of research on all the prospects, which you would do anyway, but especially you did it because you were on the draft show last night with J-Ross. So I know we both saw the same thing about Jalen Slauson from Furman, who the Kings took their final draft pick last night. And there's a lot of good things about him, some questions about the athleticism, but apparently just does not use his left hand.
Yeah, he's got the reverse Bagley thing where he's pretty one-hand dominant.
Yeah.
But it's only his right hand.
Yeah. I saw one scout saying he just does not go to his left.
I mean, I watched a good amount of his tape last night, and it's a lot of he's got a phenomenal floater, but he uses that floater as a substitute for a left hand, where he'll just take some really, really tough, awkward falling away, where it's like you should probably just use a little left-handed scoop here, but instead he'll do a fadeaway to the left, right-handed floater, and some of it's clunky, and that's why he's the 54th pick in the draft. He's not going to be a perfect prospect, but
is he a two-way guy? Probably.
I would think so. Yeah, I definitely
he was
don't
a
think
small
he'll be a
ball
guaranteed
center in
contract.
college.
Yeah, very interesting guy.
Yeah,
It's
does a lot of good things, but
good athlete. And the thing that really stuck out to me about both of the guys that the Kings got yesterday, and Colby Jones, and I think to me the positive is both guys instantly, the positives on their scouting report is their defense. And that's something we talked about a lot, more specifically for free agents. But if the Kings are going to add anybody this offseason, to me, they have to play defense. That is number one on the priority list, is just we cannot have more guys out there that just don't defend. And, to spin off a little bit, that's kind of the problem with bringing in a guy like Kyle Kuzma is just, the Kings already have a lot of really great offensive weapons. If they want to take another major step, it's making the 27th defensive rated team somewhere more near the middle, like what we saw with Denver this year. You don't have to be a top 10 defense. You don't have to be a top 5 defense. But if you're going to be a great offense and an average, a great offense and an average defense, that's more than good enough to win you 50+ games.
Denver was 15th this year in defensive.
They were
rating.
exactly 15th.
They won a championship.
Yep, they won a championship. That's all it takes. Is just, and that took years. I mean, that's Mike Malone was harping on that for years and years of you guys are great on offense. That's not a problem.
It used to be you had to be top 10. It used to be if you're not top 10 in defensive rating, you're probably not going to win.
Yeah.
Slauson, by the way, to your point, by all accounts, is a great help defender. Just recognizing plays as they develop or as the defense breaks down, recognizing what he needs to do.
Good weak side, good at just good team defender. I mean, truly the stereotypical good team defender, great on movement, great on switches, really good transition defender as well. Saw a lot of chase down blocks in his film. Just a good athlete, and somebody again who really does prioritize defense and did a whole lot of everything over there at Furman. Furman, I believe.
Furman.
Yes.
Yep.
So they're not the Paladins, are they? I don't know. I know that
I don't think so.
Let's see. What's the Furman mascot?
I think you are correct.
They are the Paladins. Look at me. Look at me.
Done.
Come on. So yes, a Furman
that's your way
Paladin.
of making me look bad.
Exactly. So yeah, what do you know? So I keep asking me questions. What else?
We also found out yesterday. Remember, Furman in the tournament was the team that Virginia threw the ball away and then they hit the shot.
Yes.
He wasn't the guy who hit the shot, but he's the guy in the viral clip who in the locker room was like, I can't believe Virginia threw it away. That's him.
All right.
Cool.
Colby Jones is a guy that could play significant minutes for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Another solid, does a lot of things, combo guard, defends well.
My question with him is just where's his minutes going to come if they do come at the pro level, or with this, more specifically with this Kings team. I mean, they have De'Aaron, they have Davion, they have Malik Monk, they have Kevin Huerter. So unless they're planning to move Huerter to the 3 or play Colby Jones a little bit at some 3, I just don't know where he gets minutes. But I really like the style of play that he brings. Reminds me kind of reminds me of the 2 Boston guards a little bit. And, if I could do the Kevin O'Connor shades of, has a lot of shades of Malcolm Brogdon, Derek White, those kind of games. I also heard Josh Hart is a name that was compared. So just a really
Dante
good combo guard, all those guys. Yeah, definitely fits that mold. It's just a matter of can he put it all together, brings defensive upside. When he got drafted yesterday, the thing that really stuck out to me was in his sophomore season, averaged 7 rebounds per game.
Whoa.
Which is incredible for a guard, especially at college as well. So to me, that's, I think, where the Josh Hart comparisons comes in. But just a gamer, just a guy who's going to do what it takes to win ball games. And I think that's exactly what the Kings needed to do with yesterday's draft. I said it pretty much the entire time, even at 24. I was looking at the older guys, some of the more, the upperclassmen, guys who just, what they are and are going to be impact guys on day one. To me, the Kings got 2 of them. It's just a matter of if those guys can end up cracking any sort of rotation.
There's one number about Colby Jones that really jumped out at me, and we'll have that for you top of the hour. It's
okay.
Like, what?
Wow.
What? Is that even possible?
That's what we call a tease,
So we have
ladies and
that
gentlemen.
coming up top of the hour. I think from the Kings' perspective, some anxiety would be warranted when you look at what teams behind you did in the draft. Look at OKC, Case and Wallace.
You're talking behind you in terms of standings?
Yes, sir. Dallas, not teams that were picking behind you, but teams that finished behind you. Dallas getting Omax and Lively, and then Richuan Holmes.
Yeah, I
still think Richuan Holmes is a good player.
Yes, he is.
Houston, I thought Houston had, they've got all that young talent. Thought they had a really potentially good draft, not to mention what the Spurs did.
Yeah.
So that's a little unsettling, and again underscores how important it's going to be for the Kings to make sure they shoot and score with everything they do this offseason.
I also want to throw the Blazers in there as well. I mean, for them to get Scoot Henderson, got Chris Murray as well.
Good call.
And then in the second round, I know they got that French guy they're really high on. Can't remember what his name is. Ryan Rupert. Very, very
Ryan
high.
Rupert.
Yes, Rupert. Excuse me.
Yes,
There you go. Shows how much I know, draft expert. But they were really high on him as well. I think I saw that, one of those where he had a promise to Portland and kind of the agent did some work to make sure nobody picked him ahead of there. So I think the Blazers also made out really well, and that's
I just
another
don't
team.
take them seriously. Maybe not as seriously as I should, because I still think they've got some existential things I got to figure out. But you're right. I mean, just on the surface, they really made some moves that look like they could be very solid.
No,
You're
I mean, those are all young teams that might not be there next year, but when we talk 3 to 4 years down the line, like those are, teams like OKC, teams like New Orleans are really, they're in a good position to possibly take a leapfrog over the Kings. Like they have a bigger collection of young talent. It's just a matter if they're going to pan out. But, I think the West definitely got a whole lot better yesterday for sure.
Here's a look at our poll on YouTube. First choice free agent for Sacramento Kings. Now the Kings have cap space. They're going to go after a free agent. You would think so.
You would think.
So Kyle has put these choices up there. Draymond Green.
Okay.
Chris is trying to contain his emotions.
Trying.
It's like, oh, yes, that's good. And inside he's going, God,
Come on.
yes,
Come on.
Kyle Kuzma.
Okay.
Bruce Brown or
Brucey B.
Other comment your pick. To me, the correct answer there is Bruce Brown. I shouldn't say that because now there's no way he's going to win because I never
exactly. You've not won once.
I never
any of our
pick
polls.
the answer that gets the most votes there. But to me, Bruce Brown would be a tremendous upgrade. Although I'll agree with you. I wish he was like 6'8" and not 6'6", but still, I think he'd be tremendous.
No,
addition.
but he plays bigger than what he is.
Yeah.
Like he can play some 4 for you. Honestly,
He's like, what do you
his
need?
Play style,
Yeah.
exactly. No, he's the kind of guy who wherever you need him to play.
And Monty
he'll play.
loves those guys. He just drafted.
Right. It'll just be a matter of how expensive he is because you don't want to pay $15 million per year, $20 million per year for a guy who's realistically going to be your 7th option. I think I would love to have Bruce Brown kind of at the mid-level exception if he wants to take that, but something tells me he feels like he can get a big payday from somebody. It'll just be interesting to see who it is, but I think that's a really good, if the Kings can get him at value, I think that's a great person to bring in.
Manny Too Legit on the YouTube chat. What do you guys think of Kyle Kuzma? You guys think he'd be a good fit? I know we've talked a lot about him.
Yeah.
I think Kyle Kuzma is just not as good as most people think he is.
Yeah, I think he definitely brings a lot of things that the Kings could use. He brings some legit length. I think brings some theoretical shooting. It's just a matter of how efficient he can be.
It hasn't always been there. He's had his moments.
Definitely not. And to me,
last year was not. He didn't have many of them.
I don't think it's a perfect fit. Like I just think Kyle Kuzma is a very isolation scorer, and obviously the Kings run a very motion-heavy offense. And I'm not saying Kyle Kuzma couldn't thrive in that and couldn't adapt to that. We just haven't really seen him play that style of basketball. I think he's a great scorer, but kind of what we pointed at earlier, he doesn't defend. And if you're going to throw him into that lineup, then you're really going to rely on Keegan Murray to guard some of the bigger guys out in the league, because Kyle Kuzma is long enough to guard guys like Paul George, like Giannis, like KD, LeBron, and all those, but he's not a good defender and just hasn't shown the effort there. So I'm kind of out on Kyle Kuzma.
Now, I think,
especially for his money,
I think Harrison Barnes is better than Kyle Kuzma. Right now, I think he is.
I think all around, I think what he brings and contributes to winning, I would say yes. Individual skills, sure, maybe Kyle Kuzma is a better scorer than him.
Mm-hmm. Kyle Kuzma also is not as.
I think he's a couple years younger, but
I don't want to say younger.
I don't want to say younger. Is he younger? You know what? Next segment. We'll just move to next segment.
All right, next segment. Why Wendy thinks Draymond could end up coming to play at the Golden One. Next on Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
Get all the latest 49ers news heading into the 2023 season on Sactown Sports.
I think Brock was smart, and we kind of facilitated that he met with a bunch of different surgeons. The hope is he's ready for the regular season. We'll take it as it comes, as we're doing. He's working incredibly hard, and the early returns are really good.
Sactown Sports, Sacramento's official home for 49ers football.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Now, save $100 when you buy the Flex 24-volt brushless impact driver kit for just $99. That's 50% off the original price. Plus, you'll also find Southwire Romex Simpul 250-foot wire for just $109. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 7/20 while supplies last.
There's a right way and a wrong way to fight off mosquitoes. Karate chopping the air in a public place in front of your kids and their friends, Mom, is the wrong way. Using Stem mosquito repellent is the right way. Stem effectively repels mosquitoes by harnessing active ingredients found in plants like lemongrass and peppermint, making it safe for use as directed around people and pets. Stem, rooted in nature, optimized by science, and embarrassment-free.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th. With Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical bull, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Attic Man Heating and Air Conditioning, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
Hey guys, did you know June is Men's Health Month? Prioritize your health and address those issues you've been ignoring. Revive Men's Health Sacramento has guaranteed low T and ED solutions. Book your free exam and T-check today and save $199. And find out how you can get a free 1-month supply of custom ED medication. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com today.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
Hey, what's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram and Woodland. You know it's Jeep season. I keep hearing about the new Jeep Wrangler 4xE. Chad, do you have any deals this month?
Right now, you can lease a new 2023 Jeep Wrangler Sahara 4xE for only $379 a month for 36 months with $49.95
$2,255 due at signing. That's a savings of up to $13,500, or you can save up to $92.50 off MSRP, plus get $37.50 in federal tax credits for a total savings of over $13,000.
Whether I lease or buy the new 2023 Jeep Wrangler Sahara 4xe, I can save up to $13,000 or more.
Yeah, and now the only decision is which one you want, because we have a great selection of Wrangler 4xEs with over 50 available.
Find your perfect vehicle now when you search, select, and save at HoblettDodge.com.
$13,500 in total net savings after $11,000 factory rebates and $2,500 dealer discount. Rebates include $7,500 federal tax credit, $3,000 carb rebate, and $500 California bonus cash. Must be California resident qualify. 36 monthly term, $49.95 cash due at signing, plus tax, license, and accessories on approved credit through price or capital. 25 cents per mile charge of over 10,000 miles per year. $92.50 total net savings after $57.50 factory rebates and $4,000 dealer discount. Plus optional $37.50 tax credit may apply for buyers who meet current federal tax standards only. Subject to change. See your CPA for qualifications. For California residents only, 5H net savings. See dealer for details.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
First of all, thanks to Willie Bone, who points out to me Bruce Brown is 6'4". I think I said he was 6'6". He's only 6'4". Thank you, Bruce. Yeah. Still like it. Plays bigger than that, as you said.
Yeah, he does. Absolutely. He's really not somebody who his height dictates what his play is at all. I mean, again, he played a lot of 4 for Brooklyn when he was there, and then last year in Denver, or just a couple weeks ago, we just saw that he's just a Swiss Army knife, just a guy that you can throw out there and really can do a little bit of everything.
He's my guy. If I could pick one free agent to add to the team, would really help.
Again, it's just going to come down to price with him. He's definitely a guy who impacts winning, but you don't want to pay too much. And with how the Kings are structured, again, they don't have that many guys signed. If you can get Bruce Brown for 12 to 15, I think you can live with that, and then try and fill out
Somebody
the roster.
else might offer more, huh?
Didn't he have that weird Instagram post where he was like in Boston and he put the smiley face emojis? That was
I don't know. I didn't see that. Hey, how come so many guys who get drafted cry now? I know that Jay Billis mentioned it last night. Well, I know, but it's more guys cry now than used to.
What's the deal with all these men crying?
I know. Come on. I
understand for some guys it's absolutely life-changing. I think it has something to do with the fact
for them all.
that it's more money now, and with you're more of a cultural star just as a first-round pick than you ever used to be. Yeah. So all of a sudden, especially with social media now, it's like, boom, you're it.
Yeah.
You're him just by virtue of getting drafted. But
I think it's more, I'm not going to hate on him, man. I think it's more just like, this is a massive day, and I think more than ever, they just fully understand.
He didn't know he was going to get drafted?
I don't want to say that was strange, but that was a little weird.
Yeah. It's fine. I'm just wondering, why so many now? It used to be just some guys would cry. Now it's like a great deal of them.
Because it's okay. That's why I think that's why. I think it's because it's just become more, it's more universally okay. People don't have to be tough guys, and I don't know. I honestly don't have an answer.
Shout out to these Gen Z men crying on stage.
Exactly.
Love it.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I know I sound like, get off my lawn, stop crying, you cry babies. But still, like, all you have to cry.
I understand. I mean, like, Whitey, if someone were to walk in this room right now and say, hey, Chris, like, you're a millionaire tomorrow, I might shed a tear.
I thought you already were.
No, nowhere close.
Okay, well, that's
not even close. 100,000 air. Okay. I understand why you would be confused.
That's my mistake.
There is a difference. Trust me, there is a difference. 100,000 airs and millionaires, please come on.
Yeah, if I owned a team where I had drafted players and one of my guys that I drafted was not crying, I would feel like, I'm glad. Now, that doesn't mean that I would be ashamed of someone who did or anything like that, but I just, a little more balance there.
That sounds like a Michael Jordan, like, scouting tactic. Like, I'm going to try and make these guys cry, and whoever doesn't cry, that's my guy. That's the guy I'm going with. I want someone hardened. I want someone who's not going to let their emotions get the best of them.
There's no crying. There is crying.
There's crying in basketball. There's no crying in football, but basketball, you're good.
I would say younger than, I wouldn't say younger.
Incredible.
No Bruce Brown from Willie Bone.
What?
Yeah. No Draymond from Manny Too Legit.
I get the no Draymond thing, but I'm going to I keep sounding like a broken record, but price to me is the key for all of these things, because I think there's just a lot of guys out there that they're good pieces, but if they're your shining trophy at the end of the offseason, it's a tough sell. Again, if Draymond is like your biggest acquisition and then you're bringing in a bunch of minimum guys, tough sell.
Adam L says, this just in, Boomer doesn't like men showing feelings. I understand that. And I almost didn't even go there, but it's still, I'm telling you, it's like Jay Billis said the same thing, which, okay, he's Jay Billis.
Yeah.
Like, do they all okay.
You just
you're right.
I'm assuming you understand, right? Like you understand that this is like a massive day for not only them, but the family and like the whole emotions.
Yes,
but like,
on some level. Obviously, I can't understand how big, but I get your point. Yeah, it's
would you rather them suppress the emotion? Or is it just you shouldn't feel that emotional about today?
Have a little more composure. That's all I'm saying.
Also, not helping your case, Jay Billis is 59 years old.
Well, I know that. That's what I said. That was my point. I didn't spell it out, but that was my point. Anyway, how old is Brian Windhorst? Doesn't matter. But here's why we're talking so much about Draymond Green today. Brian Windhorst today on ESPN, right?
Yes, it was today on ESPN. Or yesterday, actually. Yesterday on ESPN.
Suggested that, Draymond to Sacramento, maybe there's something there.
Okay, I want to go back to the Kings.
You got to figure out what's going on in Sacramento.
And Pelton, give Pelton credit here. Pelton mentioned this. Mike Brown is extraordinarily close to Draymond Green. Extraordinarily close. Mike Brown was the Draymond Green whisperer with the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond Green is a free agent. They now have the money if they want to give him a premium over what he opted out of in Golden State.
Okay.
Now, I do believe that Draymond wants to be a Warrior. And I do believe that the trade for Jordan Poole today puts the Warriors in good position to be able to keep their books in a fashion where they can keep Draymond and keep Klay Thompson if they both sign contracts that are pay cuts or at least mildly flat to where they are. But the Kings can now go hunting for Draymond Green if they wish. And that would be extraordinarily interesting because it is the exact type of player that they need, and there's already a be interesting with Sabonis. That would be interesting first practice.
Yeah, the fans would have to do something.
That would be an
their opinions.
extraordinarily interesting situation. Holy Moses.
He sounds tired. Draymond Green doesn't he a little bit?
He does.
Is he the perfect? Is Draymond Green really the perfect fit?
No.
Coming back with that. Also, as promised, that number on Colby Jones that I don't know that you're going to believe it, but it's next year. Chris and company. It's so great to be here too. I'm sorry. Sactown Sports. I'm sorry.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Every week getting to talk to Kenneth Cornelius Thomas.
Oh my God, he busts out the whole name.
Hey, come on.
Special show. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to coming back next year. Hopefully we can keep this going.
Yeah.
I enjoyed being on here with nothing, dude. Don't make me reach through this phone, man.
You're in New Mexico. I can talk garbage.
Hey, I know where you live. I'll find out.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at AcuraofStockton.com.
Sacramento Kings basketball is back this summer. Catch 6 games of NBA action and fun for the whole family when the California Classic Summer League returns on July 3rd and 5th. The Kings will host the Golden State Warriors, Los Angeles Lakers, Miami Heat, and newly added San Antonio Spurs and Charlotte Hornets with the number 1 and number 2 NBA draft picks. 2-day passes start at just $42 and include access to all 6 games. Visit Kings.com/California Classic for more information and to buy your tickets today.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Since 1776, July 4th has been celebrated as the birth of American independence, but it's been a federal holiday only since 1941. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. It was a mere 7 years later when the Keys family opened their first Naturewood store in Sacramento, and I guess Northern Californians have been celebrating ever since. We celebrate an incredible selection of furniture brands made right here in America. We celebrate the kind of generous hometown hospitality that was important to Walter Keys in 1948 and continues with the Keys family and the Naturewood Home Furnishing staff today. And we celebrate the kind of quality that's been synonymous with Naturewood for all these 74 years. Look for made in America brands like Stanton, Sam Moore, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and more during the Naturewood 4th of July sale event. Find the furniture that you will celebrate for years to come. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Hey, Scott, you look great.
Yeah, I'm feeling good and have a new job.
No, there's something different about the way you look.
To be honest, a few months ago, I had an amazing robotic hair transplant procedure at XL Medicine. It's called the artist procedure.
No way. Your hair looks completely natural, and you don't even have a scar. How did they do that?
Dude, the artist system is amazing. I have this fantastic hairline, and I'm happy with my results. XL Medicine could probably help you too, buddy.
Using the artist procedure, Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall can target and harvest healthy hair follicles with micron-level accuracy from the back of your head and transplant them where you need it. The procedure is painless, and you'll be back doing your regular activities in a couple of days. Ask Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall at XL Medicine about the artist procedure. Call today, 916-932-4470. That's 932-4470 for a complimentary in-person or Zoom consultation, or on the web at xlmedicine.com. That's EXCEL medicine.com. See what the artist procedure can do for you.
These are actors and not real patients.
The city of Sacramento offers rebates to help with your outdoor water saving projects this season. Rebates are available for landscape conversions, smart controllers, and irrigation upgrades that improve your water efficiency. Learn more at sacwaterwise.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings made a big trade in the first round of the NBA draft last night.
Sacramento is trading center Richuan Holmes and the 24th pick to Dallas.
The Sacramento Kings trade of Richuan Holmes opens up $45 million for the team with $31 million in cap space and access to the full $12.5 million mid-level exception. Get all of your Kings news right now at SactownSports.com with Frankie Cardicelli and Joe Giroz, writing all the stories to keep you up to date on all the free agent signings and news on the Kings draft picks. Those are your headlines. It is currently 11:01, which means it's time for you to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. It's time for hour number 2 with Whitey Gleason and Chris Watkins here on Chris & Company.
And I appreciate the help here. A number of people helping me out here with my, just a question, not even a complaint, just a question. Hey, it seemed like a lot of guys were crying last night at the NBA draft.
Yeah.
Jay Jolly says lots of those kids who got drafted went through a lot of BS to finally make it.
Yes.
16, 17 years old, when COVID hit, season canceled, a lot of uncertainty. I'd be crying too. I certainly understand that.
These are COVID kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys are guys who, when they were in high school and when they were supposed to be going through the normal recruiting process, the pandemic happened.
A lot of uncertainty. Yeah.
Throughout
that's
a lot
point.
of guys, maybe should have been ranked higher.
Seth Samuel says on the crying thing, my guess is it's so much more of a spectacle now that there's a lot of added pressure and attention on the players. So hearing their name is even more of an emotional release.
Yeah, I agree with that. That to me is the big thing, is just like with social media nowadays, like everyone knows and there's so much pressure on you, and like you fully understand, like there's almost direct numbers to, oh, I have 250,000 people following me on Instagram.
I get that.
That means that 250,000 people are going to be watching my every single move, and just, and have been for the past X amount of years. And now there's the validation. There's also just what this means for your future. It's a lot. Like, I just think it's a lot of emotions to deal with. And, frankly, we just, we're not as hardened. We're not as hardened as what we used to be. We haven't gone through any wars. We've only been through a pandemic, which, some would say is even worse.
Yeah.
So
I understand. Thank you for helping me understand.
You're welcome.
I have a number for you, speaking of the draft, on Colby Jones that I promised to share.
Please.
And I know you've done a ton of research on him. And we mentioned
You're
earlier.
You're going to get me in trouble if you keep saying that.
Colby
Jones.
Jones.
Say something stupid.
No, you have. I want to give you credit. From Xavier, let's see here. He's been compared to, and obviously this is like, he's not there yet, but he could become Josh Hart type player, Dante DiVincenzo, Malcolm Brogdon, a good passer. This was interesting. As one scouting report I saw, Chris said, not a shot creator, boxy and square as an athlete.
I'm trying to think if that's a compliment. I definitely
not really
don't
a compliment.
think so.
No.
Boxy and square.
Yeah.
Which also is kind of saying the same thing, just one's 3D. 3D version.
Huh.
I don't know. I guess that means broad-shouldered. Is he calling him overweight?
No, I don't think it's that.
It also says as an athlete. So
right.
I mean, that's an interesting phrasing for sure.
Unselfish, not about himself on the court.
Love that.
Counters and touches, a score on floater with some craft at the basket. I'm wondering if I might have got my notes mixed up, and that actually applies to Slauson, that he was boxy and square as an athlete. Not sure about that.
Both of them kind of have very similar builds. Just kind of Colby Jones is 6'4" and Strawther is 6'7". But to me, they're really really similar players. And there was a lot of these theoretical 3-and-D guys. And I think Colby Jones is a little bit easier to sell yourself on the 3-point shot. But I think the thing with a lot of guys in this draft is they possess one of the 3-and-D elements, but the other one is a big question. And I think the Kings did a good job of getting guys that definitely bring the defense. It feels like Colby Jones will be a good 3-point shooter. He shot 37% last year on, I think, 3.3 attempts. So there's something there, but Strawther is a little bit more of a question in terms of his jump shot. But both guys bring instant defense, instant hustle, instant tenacity, and that's the kind of thing that gets. I mean, again, I keep pointing at Christian Braun, but like that's the shining example right now of how you can really star in your role and play for a really good basketball team and contribute to winning.
There's a cliche that some people dismiss, but I think there's something to it. Play the game the right way.
Yeah.
Because to me, if you play the game the right way, that means you're playing unselfishly and you're playing hard.
Yeah.
And that's the way you play.
Yeah. And I think both of those guys do it. And when
when
you're picking at 30, what these guys were picked at 30, 38, or was it 36? I can't
34.
I already forgot.
Went up.
34. That's right.
And
34 and 54.
Yeah.
When you're picked that late, there's not a ton of expectation on you. You're not going to come in and try and be the star. And that's what I really like about the profile of both of these guys. They both seem, you just read it off there, they're team players. Your guy, Derek Whitehead, for example, if they would have gone for a player like that, maybe when he tried to come into the game, he would try and be a star scorer or something like that. He almost did. But, they got two guys that are going to come in and know their role and not try and be something bigger than what they are. And I think that's a great way to start your career. And if they can just find a way to get these guys minutes, and we'll see next week in the California Classic how these guys perform against some NBA talent. But if they can manage to crack the rotation, I think both of these guys could potentially help these guys win games.
Sam Viceni in The Athletic on Colby Jones. It all comes down to him being able to knock down 38% of his threes on about 5 or so per game. If he can do that, he's going to be a valuable role player for winning teams, and there is reason to believe he can do that. As far as the defense, here's the number. Standing reach. You know what a standing reach is?
I would imagine I think standing reach is vertical, isn't it? I think it's how high you are just like if you stand on your 2 feet and you stick your arm straight up in the air. I believe it's how high it is, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
But do you know what his standing reach is?
No, I have no idea what his
8 feet 7 inches.
I think that's good. Yeah, I think that
jumped out at me.
I think that's good. Especially if you're 6'4", I guess.
Yeah,
I guess that's
6'5". He's listed
6'5".
here.
There you go. Yeah, that's some added height for sure. I just don't know what that compares to, but I guess I mean, it's not. If you would have said like 10 feet, I'd be like, wow, yeah, okay. So he doesn't even have to jump. 8'7" is pretty close. I mean, that's pretty good, especially when you're a guard, I guess. That shows that he's going to possibly, be able to play bigger than what he is, which could be really big. Again, for just trying to find minutes for him. I think if he can play the 3, there's some minutes for him for sure.
Yeah, Jones might not be an all-star, but he's a reasonable bet to tick a lot of boxes that teams typically want to be filled.
Yeah.
So a lot of good stuff there. How much good stuff do we need to say about Draymond Green and his potential fit as a Sacramento King?
I mean,
Brian Windhorst is talking about it. This isn't just idle speculation.
If we can take the dollars out of it for a second and just talk about the basketball fit, I understand why people have questions about the offensive spacing, especially next to Domantas Sabonis. Like, both of those guys can't shoot. And then you throw De'Aaron out there. That's 3 guys in your starting lineup or theoretical starting lineup that just aren't shooters. That doesn't really bode well for the Kings spacing and really what made them so great on offense last year. But I think Draymond brings a lot in terms of the defensive end of the floor. I think offensively,
he really organizes you at both ends, but it's especially important defensively.
Yes, absolutely. But I think offensively, I keep saying this, he doesn't have to play all of his minutes with Sabonis. Like, yeah, maybe they start together. Maybe they play the first 6 or 7 minutes. Maybe they close the game. But I think a majority of his minutes could come with Sabonis off the floor. Like, he could be the backup center, and it alleviates the problem of having to find a backup big who does similar things as Sabonis. Like, you have Draymond Green, just essentially run him in that Sabonis role, run the offense through him when Sabonis isn't on the floor. And yeah, you might lose out on some rebounding battles, but I think it's just an overall positive for the guy that Draymond has been in the past. And again, I know he's a step slower defensively, but IQ-wise was always what made him head and shoulders above everybody else, and that's not going anywhere anytime soon. And I just think the Kings could really use a vocal leader like him as well.
Yep, Draymond has had issues with self-control at times.
Yes, to say the least.
He's very smart. He's a smart guy.
Yeah, self-aware.
And, yep, I think he's smart enough to recognize that as much fun as this whole free agency process, where you get to entertain the ideas of, man, I could go play with LeBron.
I think Draymond likes to be wanted.
Sure. He, like everybody else. And he's done a lot of the heavy lifting for that team for a long time. Yeah. The dirty work.
Hasn't gotten a lot of credit for it. He's gotten some credit.
Yeah. But also I think he wants to win. And I think he knows that he looks his best when he's playing alongside Steph Curry. And I think ultimately I don't think he's going to want to leave the Warriors.
Yeah.
Unless they just like lowball him, and all indications are they now recognize how important he is to him. I don't think they want to let him go, and I don't see him leaving there.
Do you think that the Jordan Poole exit is pretty much that? Do you think it is a sign of their commitment to Draymond Green?
I think it's a byproduct of that. I think ultimately it comes down to this guy's not going to be worth what we're paying him, and we're so far into the cap.
Sure.
That I think they're pleased that they freed up. Because what was it, 130 over 4 years, whatever?
Yeah,
it's just
which they didn't actually have to pay any of it, right? Did that start this
it's
past
season?
Start
this season.
Okay, beautiful. So they actually didn't pay any of that salary,
right?
Which I guess is good for them,
right? I don't know why they gave him that contract in the first place. So yeah, I think that's
why that Bob Myers guy is gone.
Bob Myers, I could, everything's going on with him. You can see Bob Myers going, man, I didn't want any part of that.
Woo!
Yeah.
Especially because there's rumors Lacob's been the shadow president for the last couple of years.
Really?
Well, yeah, I think there are indications. You could kind of sense that.
His son also is up high ranking as well, isn't he, in the Warriors?
Yeah, there's one narrative that he's being groomed more to be the owner than he is to be the GM. But to Kyle's point, sometimes there may not be much difference.
Yeah, much of a difference, right?
Especially with Joe Lacob, who's had his fingerprints on everything the last few years.
I think so. Yeah.
Interesting.
So the Draymond Green thing, as we suggested, there's a chance that if the Kings really make a move there, maybe it's because Mike Brown believes that he would put them over the top, or maybe an owner who has a fondness for the Warriors saying, we got to make a move at this guy?
I think it's probably, if it does happen, I think it's a good combination of both, because I know for a fact Mike Brown, I don't think he's going to march into Monty's office and say, hey, we have cap space now, let's go get Draymond. But if he's asked, he's going to have glowing reviews of what Draymond could do. I just think that Mike Brown knows better than everybody from his time there and his relationship with Draymond Green, that he can really bring some things to this Kings team that they could really, really use, things that we don't even think about, but just setting the tone in practice every day, having a veteran leader that everybody can look on, just a guy who's literally been through it all in terms of playoff situations. And Draymond might lose his cool a lot, but I think that, part of that is also just having a certain level of fire that he has. And I think, you need that for an 82 game season. You need a guy who's sometimes going to be really fired up in game 63 for no reason at all and really gets your team going. The Kings don't really have anyone like that. And I think, as this team kind of plays together more and more, I think that there is going to be needed an element of like something fresh, something new, something to reinvigorate them, because as Mike Brown said countless times last year, his voice is going to get stale eventually.
Carlos B. Fly on the YouTube chat asks, Draymond punched Poole.
He did.
And are we really talking about Draymond and Sabonis playing together after the stomp? We will address that. We'll also look at the two unhappiest fan bases the day after the draft next on Chris and Company Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Turn your home into restricted airspace. Tell incoming flights you want them diverted. The new Raid Essentials Light Trap plugs into the wall and uses light to attract, then trap flying insects like fruit flies and mosquitoes. Its 24/7 continuous attraction provides insecticide-free protection that's people and pet friendly. Consider air service interrupted. New Raid Essentials Light Trap. Insecticide-free protection.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Right now you're thinking, Comparion, never heard of them. We know. We also know that you have no idea that Comparion Insurance agents are local and provide expert advice. So to help it stick, we're going to say local agent 4 times in the next 15 seconds. Ready? Go. Our local agents know you and your community. Our local agents offer insurance from top carriers. Our local agents have minty fresh breath.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com. Comparion Insurance Agency. Local agents, expert advice.
And there's number 4.
Sitting at your desk? Watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
I know I may have sounded a little out of touch when I complained about the how much the players were crying at the draft, but I gotta say, Chris is sounding
I'm crotchety.
like he's a little more crotchety, a little older than you think he is. He's going on and on about pickleball.
I can't stand it.
Anti-pickleball rant here with pickleball. One of the fine events in the PPA is on ESPN right now.
The what?
The PPA,
The PPA, Kyle.
Pro
Come on.
Pickleball Association.
Come
I guess. Yeah.
I just
What's
have
wrong with pickleball?
I have a fundamental issue with pickleball. I feel like I've talked about it a bit on this station, but it's just like, just play tennis, dude. Like, it's not that big of
Tennis,
a
you
leap.
think this is 1977?
I mean, it's pretty much the same amount of movement. Like, especially if you're doing ones. I mean, I get if you're running twos.
What is that?
It's a little bit, they're just like softly passing the ball back and forth right now. They're on a rally of like 20 straight soft passes. It's just a weird sport. I don't know. And I don't like how if you go out on any weekend to any park here in Sacramento.
Oh, here we go.
They're taking up all the courts, man. Yeah. Like, I'm trying to play tennis on the weekend.
Tennis versus pickleball thing is real.
It is. No, it's a very, very real thing.
Yeah, I know that.
Like, tennis people are very upset about this. And I'm an incredibly casual tennis player. Like, I'll play maybe once every other month, where I try and play once every other week, but it just doesn't end up happening that way. But these pickleball people, and I was telling you this, they got it looking like Rucker Park out there. Like, if you go to whatever,
pickleballcentral.com, you ever been to that website?
I have not. Something tells me there's cryptos probably sold on that website as well. It's just I just don't like it. Like, again, I just don't understand why, if you're going to play pickleball and you're going to be considered a pickleball athlete, why not just play tennis? It's the same sport, but just jumbo. It's the same amount of movement or a similar amount of movement. Tennis, I think it's overrated for the amount of, not overrated because you do definitely build up a sweat, but it's not like I don't know. It's just not that much movement.
I think
when compared
if you
to
and I
pickleball.
played pickleball, we would beat anybody because it looks so easy.
It looks
I'm
so
wrong.
easy.
I know I'm wrong, but my honest feeling when I watch it is that's the easiest thing I've ever seen.
To me, it's a sport for PE. It's not an actual, like, let's go compete on the weekend and play. It's a sport that should be only played in physical education classes in high schools across America.
Why are you playing pickleball? Because they won't let us have real rackets.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Well,
that's fine. I can accept that. But to be a grown adult and to decide to play pickleball, I'm not. You're not my kind of person. I'm sorry.
It's
like
the wave of the
we got
future.
beef. Like
Chris, it's coming. What's not
it
coming?
is.
It's
No,
here.
it really is. I think I saw Kevin Durant invested like a ton of money in a pickleball team. And
Yeah.
it's just like,
yeah.
Why do we care? All of a sudden, it's a very rich people sport. I think that's what I've came to the conclusion of. Is it's a thing that rich people do, and so now it's kind of just catching some steam.
And you're saying tennis isn't?
I mean, tennis is cheap. Like, look at the Williams sisters. Like, you can be a Compton kid, and all it takes is a tennis
You're
ball
saying
and a
pickleball
racket.
is elitist.
A little
Interesting
bit,
take.
a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely for these elitist people that
right.
just snuff
Okay.
their nose at people who sweat while playing tennis.
Pickleball not for you, but the idea of Draymond coming here may be for you.
It might be.
You've been saying that. You're one of the.
I've been saying it a while.
One of the first people I've heard who said that. You said that back when
I said it in the playoffs. I
before
swear.
the series between the Kings and the Warriors started.
I mean, it's just I mean, at this point, again, Draymond's not the guy that we think of when we think of the Hall of Famer Draymond Green. But just the mold of player that Draymond is, all the intangibles that he brings are things that the Kings severely lack. And, all the way down to, again, like a vocal presence. Like, I just think a lot of the things that Draymond Green does really well are things that the Kings really, really suck at. And I could see a clear benefit in having him in the locker room as well.
Patrick Donaldson says, add Jeremy Grant and Lopez.
That's a lot of money.
Chuck Lee says, I'd rather have Ben Simmons than Draymond Green.
What?
Are you all right?
You
What's wrong?
what?
He says Bean, but I assume he means I'd rather have Ben Simmons than Draymond Green.
Bean, no bean. I would rather have the guy that
And bless you
Ben
for,
Simmons has
for watching
been.
on YouTube and sharing your thoughts.
Absolutely.
At
Bless
least
you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. That thought you might want to. I appreciate the viewership, but you might want to keep that thought to yourself. Ben Simmons and his $40 million contract that he still has. I think he still has 3 or 4 more years left on. I'm good. I mean, who knows?
Malika Andrews asked JJ Redick about Ben Simmons last night.
Really?
You obviously couldn't see because you were on the air.
What
And
did he say? Because he had
when he's on the court, we'll talk about him, okay? And then she
Sounds a little salty.
don't we have to? Yeah. She doubled down. He's like, look, he's my friend. I like Ben Simmons.
That's what I was curious.
But he still has some of the mental baggage from what happened against the Sixers. And until he's on the floor playing, I'm not going to talk about him. Okay, can we wait and see if he ever gets back on the basketball court before we talk about him as a basketball player? So,
I guess. I mean, that's where the conversation starts. JJ is why isn't he on the? I mean, it's all tied into each other. I would not rather have Ben Simmons than Draymond. Maybe not even if at dollar figure. Like, I think there's at max, I could see Draymond somehow getting. Could he get 30? Like, could the Kings give him like a 3-year 90? I would be actually shocked if that happens, but even for the dollar figure that Draymond could potentially make, I would much rather have Draymond over Ben Simmons.
I don't think that Draymond would seriously consider coming here, and I also don't think.
You don't think he would consider?
Well, not seriously. I mean, he might.
I think he might. I think he might consider it. I think the Mike Brown connection is really strong, and that is literally the only reason why.
Push comes to shove, I think he's going to realize, as I said earlier, wow, Steph Curry is pretty good to play with, and he kind of helps me highlight what I do best. But I also think, and a lot of people talking about it on the YouTube chat, the whole Sabonis thing is that's not nothing. Given that he understandably was very upset by that.
Yeah.
And then Draymond, I lost respect for him.
Yeah.
That's not the type of thing that we're teammates now. Hey, Nux, yeah, we're good.
Absolutely.
Wasn't that funny when I stepped on your chest? Seriously.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's undoubtedly a conversation that would need to happen. I don't know if Draymond and Sabonis would need to have the conversation directly, but I think the Kings would have to go to Domas at least and say, hey, I think we're going to do this. And I don't know if they ask, are you okay with it? But I think that there would have to be some form of clearing of the air there. Something tells me Domas would probably say, hey, man, if he's going to help us win, it's okay. The past is the past. But it would definitely be awkward for sure. And that's something Draymond, that's the bad side of Draymond that you got to live with is he's got a past.
And I know that you can give Sabonis the most money, but still you got to be careful of that too. When he doesn't have to re-sign with you. Hey, what about Draymond? You know what? We'll see you later.
Yeah.
Do what you want. I'm out, my man. Have a good night.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the last thing you want to do is upset Sabonis to the point where he's like, maybe I will consider free agency last year. I know there's talks about him possibly getting an extent. Maybe that's the move, actually. Maybe Monty McNair is light years ahead here. Extend Sabonis first and then sign Draymond. Because then it's like, hey, man, you already signed the dotted line.
Get that taken care of.
Want, no, that's not happening. But I do think that Draymond Green will consider coming to Sacramento. But to your point, it's not going to be their first choice. To me, if I had to guess Draymond's priority list, it's going to be Golden State 1, trying to make sure he can come back. Probably going to be Lakers 2.
He'd love to play with LeBron.
He wants to play with LeBron so bad. He'll probably realize that's just not a possibility with their money situation. And then I think he would consider Sacramento if things don't go well. And I think it's a very clear gap from
he'd be
Warriors.
Their third choice in the state.
Yes, that's probably the best way of putting it. Yeah, he would be the third. Sacramento would be the third Draymond Green choice in the state.
I don't think he's worth the time it would take to try to
probably
recruit
not
him.
or financials
when
that
you
it would
have
take,
other important decisions you got to make
for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, if Draymond wants to come over for 2 years and $15 million each year, which he's not going to do, sure, I'll take him. But something tells me with the money that he would want in order to get that deal done quickly, I just don't think it's going to happen. I think that they should look at other guys like my guy Brook Lopez, maybe even. That's where I'm looking if I'm the King.
Can he and Sabonis play together? We'll talk about that in just a moment. Also, as promised, to look at the two very unhappy fan bases, including one NBA team that I think they may have to get a new mascot. That's next on Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The coach of the year.
These honors don't come around often, and so you're very appreciative of them.
The clutch player of the year.
Rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
And a return to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years.
16 seasons of frustration. Sacramento has clinched the playoffs.
Keep it on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for all your Kings off-season news.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Valley Strong Credit Union.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Friday forecast looking mainly sunny with light southwest winds. We'll have afternoon temperatures in the upper 70s to about 80 degrees with overnight lows in the mid-50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, capital, and everything in between. Learn about all the benefits of being a business banking member at valleystrong.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Listen to Oakland A's baseball on the weekends all season long right here on Sactown Sports, beginning with the pregame show brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical pool, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Attic Man Heating and Air Conditioning, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club. Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. CalHope can help. Access CalHope's free and secure mental health resources today. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org.
Hey, it's Nick Cattle suggesting you celebrate your 4th of July the right way with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Our Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned us into pros. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. Built different, built better, and built to last. All made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just go to Napoleon.com for your nearby Napoleon Grills dealer. Napoleon Grills, now is the time for the best selection of grills and fine accessories. Now is the time to take care of your 4th of July.
Prestige line comes with a lifetime warranty.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
Hey guys, did you know June is Men's Health Month? Prioritize your health and address those issues you've been ignoring. Revive Men's Health Sacramento has guaranteed low T and ED solutions. Book your free exam and T-check today and save $199. And find out how you can get a free 1-month supply of custom ED medication. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit revivemenshealth.com today.
The Gold Rush Classic takes place July 13th and 14th in Rancho Murrieta. Come join the fun and play golf with a celebrity, or just check out the concert. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. For more info, go to goldrushclassic.org.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton. See all our inventory and specials at AcuraofStockton.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. Last night, the Sacramento Kings made a big splash trade during the NBA draft.
Sacramento is trading center Richuan Holmes and the 24th pick to Dallas. This is the Mavericks picking now at 24.
The Sacramento Kings trade of Richuan Holmes opens up nearly $45 million for the team in free agency, with $31 million in cap space and access to the full $12.5 million mid-level exception. For all of your Sacramento Kings draft pick news, check out SactownSports.com, including breakdowns of the Kings' 34 pick Colby Jones and 54th pick Jalen Slauson. Those are your headlines. Now it's time to return to Chris and Company with Whitey Gleason and Chris Watkins.
Davis McLeod on the YouTube chat asks, where did the Draymond to Sac even start? He doesn't care about the city or the organization. Warriors fans don't even want him on the team anymore. Why are we entertaining this conversation? It's a fair question, and it's because Brian Windhorst on ESPN, he laid out some breadcrumbs that would suggest Draymond Green to Sacramento is a possibility, or at least that the Kings would pursue him. So that's why we're talking about it, but it's a good question.
Now, why would he say that?
Why would Windy say that?
Why would he say that? Now, why would they do that? Why would they do that? I mean, it's a fair question for sure. I guess it's, again, an aging would we call Draymond a superstar at one point?
Hall of Famer.
No, I don't think you could.
Yeah, I don't either. He's definitely a Hall of Famer. I mean, to me, absolutely Hall of Famer. But he's an aging guy, and his best years are absolutely behind him. Obviously brings a lot of personality clashes. Had an incident with Domantas Sabonis, obviously. He
did. I remember that.
Yeah, we all remember that. It was, it's not a perfect off-the-floor fit, but I think on the floor, he brings a lot of things that the Kings just don't have in terms of organizing guys defensively, a vocal leader, somebody who, again, has a ton of experience. Like Harrison Barnes.
So he's going to punch a teammate if he feels that's in order?
Hey, sometimes people just don't listen, Sometimes people need to be taught things.
But the Sacramento Kings video department wouldn't leak it to TMZ, right?
They definitely would not. I might not, but they definitely would not. By the way, Jordan Poole, gets hit in the face and then averages a career high in points. So, can't knock the strategy.
Warrior fans, I don't think they're worried today so much about Draymond coming to Sacramento, but Warrior fans are not happy. To me, Warrior fans and Charlotte fans, they're the two unhappiest fan bases in the NBA. Warrior fans are really having a hard time with Chris Paul to the Warriors.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar in some ways, similar dynamic to Richard Sherman to the 49ers.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very, very similar, very reminiscent.
No.
They just, it's, after years of actively rooting against this guy, I mean, it goes all the way back to the beginning of the dynasty. The Warriors had to get through those Lob City Clipper teams in order to get over the hump. And that was a really heated rivalry. The Clippers had their number for, I think, a year, and then the Warriors came back
Mark
the following
Jackson's
year.
last year's coach. The Clips knocked him out.
Yes, they did. Absolutely. So, I mean, that fan base has had a long history with Chris Paul, as recent as the Houston Rockets, who were a game away, were 27 missed threes in a row in a game 7 away from taking down that Golden State team. So there's a real history with the Warriors and Chris Paul, or specifically Warriors fans and Chris Paul, for having a certain level of distaste towards him. But the funny thing about sports, and it always happens, and I almost said Crabtree, the Richard Sherman example is a perfect one, because Niner fans love Richard Sherman, and something tells me the same exact thing is going to happen with Chris Paul and Golden State. And something also tells me the same exact thing would happen if Draymond Green came here to Sacramento. I just think, fans, you're going to fan. You're a fanatic. When people are against you, you're going to hate them. But when they're doing things that are for your team, you just view it in a completely different light, and you don't have to look further than the Warriors fans defending Draymond Green stepping on Domantas Sabonis. But, when someone's doing things for your team, you just can't help but rally behind it.
In my experience, there's like a flip that is switched, and it's not a conscious choice you make. In the mind of a fan, player A, whoever it is, he's not one of us. I don't like him. Yeah. Then he joins your team. No, that can't be right. Then at some point you watch him play, or he does something, and it's just like, boop. And your mind says, okay, he's one of us.
The only thing that could make that not happen is if they go to your team and suck. And then it's like confirmation bias of like, I never liked Chris Paul, and now he's ruining our team and our chances.
Right.
That's the only way it doesn't happen. And, that's
is a possibility.
That's a possibility, absolutely. Yeah. But that's traditionally not how it's happened. And even if he does suck, I mean, Chris Paul is one of the greatest players we've ever had. I'm sure he can bring something to that Warrior locker room. And I was telling J. Ross yesterday, the one thing I can't get out of my head for this Warriors Chris Paul situation, especially, or more specifically, if they also bring back Draymond Green, just the culture, like the positive culture in that locker room, I think is going to be incredible. Like no one else is going to have that level of like determination and thirst to win than Chris Paul and Draymond Green. Like to me,
agree.
that locker room
if he has
is
to come off the bench.
Awesome.
I think he'll figure out, all right, if that's what's best.
Yeah.
Interesting thing happened with that team to me, strength in numbers. Strength in numbers team first became, as they had this divide between the veterans and the young players, it became, we are the veterans. We are the team.
Yes.
You are not. You better just,
fall in line.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when that didn't happen, all of a sudden, well, you didn't have everybody on the same page. And so now they're all in on the veteran players.
Yeah. which I think is the route to go. I mean, that's when they had their most success, was when they were loading up with guys like David West and, Sean Livingston and, all the David Lee, just Andrew Bogut, and Mo Spates as well. Like, that was the winning formula for Golden State back when they just frankly couldn't afford younger guys, is go out, get those veterans who will come here for cheaper to try and win a championship. I think that's the route for them to go, is just getting guys who know their role and could potentially excel in their role. The Warriors have the star pieces there. I mean, Steph Curry pretty much by himself led them to the second round.
You love him. Deep down, you love him. You say you don't, but you love Steph Curry. You love everything about him. You love his antics.
I do love to hate him. I will say that. I will be the first to acknowledge I am a hater. Like, I am a Steph Curry hater. There's no
Curry's
logical
Game 7
rationale.
water bottle somehow came to be in Chris's possession.
Somehow.
I've seen it. I
just a
saw
token.
It. Yeah.
It's like what's a radio friendly term I could use? It's like self-punishment almost. I like to look at it and just it's friendly,
kind of twisted.
It's a friendly reminder of just like, yeah, that's
close.
That's how we lost. Like, it's just every time I look at it, I'm like, yep, that guy dropped 50, and that was maybe the worst performance the Kings gave all year.
And then yelled, "Light the damn beam!"
Don't get me
as he
walked off the court. Don't forget the fake beam pushing.
Boy, can you imagine next year Draymond lighting the beam? Huh?
Some Warrior fans, love to see Draymond get in Steph's face, though. Oh God,
I never thought of that.
Please,
some Warrior fans are also upset because I think they've seen, understandably, Jordan Poole as like a young guy who was mistreated. He was a victim, and then they're trading him.
Yeah,
and for Chris Paul,
right?
No, so a lot of Warrior fans are not happy about all that.
They went from living in two timelines, living in the past and in the future, to now, oh boy, this might be over like next year with Chris Paul and things are really, really coming to a head for Golden State, and I think some of the Warrior fans are kind of finally realizing their mortality, as we've been trying to tell them for 8 years now.
Somebody on the YouTube chat suggested, and I apologize, I lost it here, so I forget who it was. They suggested Portland was one of the unhappy fan bases today, but I think the other really unhappy fan base, without question, is Charlotte, where they had a draft party at the arena, and they have all these people there, and Hugo the Hornet is there. Maybe you've seen the video. And on the big board there, they announced the selection, and there's video of Hugo the Hornet, and he just slumps over when they announced it's Brandon Miller.
Just crushed.
This is the mascot.
Yeah.
And it said, hey, he's like,
instead of trying to, bring the crowd up, be like, come on, let me hear it. Yeah. Most of the time, I feel like mascots don't even have an idea. Like, they don't even like sports. Like, I feel like most of the time those guys are just there for a job, and they're like, yeah, I just really like to entertain people, and it just so happens to be for a professional sporting team. Clearly, Hugo the Hornet is a massive hoops head, because he was like, the scouting.
With the ownership change, he must be he must be a short timer or something.
Yeah, or maybe that was Mitch Kupchak.
Yeah,
maybe Mitch was
Speaking of our friend Mitch Kupchak, he was asked about the fans booing at the arena, and this was his incredible response.
Oh my gosh!
About this big for whatever reason. Which arena? There were a lot of boos in this arena here. No, I'm not aware of that.
No, I didn't hear it. No, nothing about it for sure.
Yeah, Mitch had a night. So they were booing the selection. Even the mascot was visibly upset. So I think fans in Charlotte are not that excited.
No.
With the second freaking pick
in
the draft.
Well, we saw Knicks fans get upset at the Kristaps Porzingis pick, and this could, fans don't know anything. We don't know anything either. Like, these guys, Brandon Miller can end up being better than Victor Wembanyama for all we know.
I think maybe he had a chance to win them over, and maybe he still does. Sure. But as soon as he said
the GOAT thing,
that's not Michael Jordan, that's Paul George. That was it.
Yeah, you're probably going to lose a lot of people. That probably, I would definitely have a problem if my favorite basketball team just took a guy who said Paul George is his GOAT. I would definitely have some questions on his basketball IQ and just his knowledge of the game for sure. Because it's one thing to say like he's my favorite player, but you still know LeBron James. Even if you can say like, oh, I didn't really watch Michael Jordan, so I can't really speak on that. You still watch LeBron, you watch Steph, you watch Kevin Durant during the Paul George. If we want to call this era of basketball the Paul George era, You saw a lot of other guys that maybe could have been your GOAT, including Kyle's guy, Kawhi Leonard, who's better than him on Paul George's team. So, I could understand why maybe some Charlotte fans today are questioning the pick. And again, it's hard to look at Scoot Henderson, the body that he's got, the athleticism that he brings, and you hear so much about his maturity. It's like, why didn't we take the guy who's a lot like Ja Morant, and why did we take the guy who's
why,
a little
right?
bit like
I told you why.
Why is that?
Because Scoot
cannot shoot.
There you go.
That's right. I forgot.
It's basketball.
I completely forgot about that. Forgot about the fact that Scoot
I
can
tried
shoot.
to tell you that weeks ago.
You know what is also interesting about what Brandon Miller said about did you hear he said Michael Jordan airballed the free throw?
Yeah.
And did you hear why he said Michael Jordan airballed that free throw?
No.
He said
Will
Michael
you
Jordan.
tell us when we come back?
Absolutely.
All right.
Maybe we can even find the sound.
All right. We've got that coming up. Also, how much do you trust Monty McNair next? Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track, makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and, and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Greetings from M&S Auto on El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. And a big thanks to our repeat customers for letting us be your favorite car dealer. Repeat customers make us proud. M&S customers know that they're going to find the car, 4x4, or SUV they want. They'll get treated like family and save thousands. Whether you're a repeat customer or a first-time buyer, welcome. M&S Auto, the intelligent car buying experience. MSAutogroup.com.
Players of all abilities will tell you that Bartley Cavanaugh Golf Course is the area's #1 course for fun. Whether you're a beginner or an accomplished player, Bartley Cavanaugh has something for you. It's a great walking course, but motorized carts are available too. The moderately sized greens and generous fairway landing areas will add to your satisfaction and smiles for the day. Near the banks of the picturesque Sacramento River, Bartley Cavanaugh features the brand new tap room for all your beverage needs. For tea times, visit bartleycavanaugh.com. It's Sacramento's #1 course for fun.
26% of children in the Sacramento region are being raised by single mothers. Through access to support systems, workforce development resources, and innovative childcare solutions, Single Mom Strong is improving outcomes for these families. Are you looking for a way to make a difference in your local community? Join Single Mom Strong's men's mentoring team, and your once monthly, 2-hour commitment will make a huge impact on a child's life. Call 916-735-5350 to learn how you can get involved. This message is sponsored by Chapel Accountancy Group.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Hey, Scott, you look great. Yeah, I'm feeling good and have a new job. No, there's something different about the way you look. To be honest, a few months ago, I had an amazing robotic hair transplant procedure at XL Medicine. It's called the Artist Procedure. No way. Your hair looks completely natural, and you don't even have a scar. How did they do that? Dude, the Artist system is amazing. I have this fantastic hairline, and I'm happy with my results. XL Medicine could probably help you too, buddy.
Using the ARTIS procedure, Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall can target and harvest healthy hair follicles with micron-level accuracy from the back of your head and transplant them where you need it. The procedure is painless, and you'll be back doing your regular activities in a couple of days. Ask Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall at Excel Medicine about the ARTIS procedure. Call today, 916-932-4470. That's 932-4470 for a complimentary in-person or Zoom consultation. Or on the web at excelmedicine.com. That's EXCEL medicine.com. See what the ARTIS procedure can do for you.
These are actors and not real patients.
At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we would buy from ourselves. At Elk Grove Honda, we include many benefits that a private seller just can't match. Our Honda-trained technicians only certify our Hondas if they pass a thorough 182-point inspection, and our certified pre-owned Hondas are under 5 years old. So you know you're getting the newest Hondas in prime condition. See our exceptional selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
New flooring instantly updates a room. RC Willie has an incredible selection of carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate. Their experts will help you find the perfect floor for your home and schedule a free in-home measure. Shop RC Willie in Elk Grove or Rockland today.
I can say working out in front of Michael Jordan, I think all people would think I would be pressured because, of course, he's Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan was never the guy I grew up watching. Kind of grew up watching Paul George, so I think Michael Jordan was just a regular guy to me in the gym watching me work out. It was definitely cool meeting him. He definitely sounds like how he sounds on TV, always trash talking. So I just really had a fun time with him.
But you also mentioned within that he's just like he is on TV. He's talking trash. So what did he say to you?
He told me I was just a shooter, just shooting threes. It's nothing with him. I know my talents and my abilities. Can't really let Jordan get in your head, It might make him feel good and make you feel bad. So kind of talking trash back to him. I witnessed him airball the free throw too. So
wait, so Jordan airballed the free throw?
I always have that up against him.
Was he having a free throw shot? How did that happen? Was he having a contest with you?
Old. It's him just being old.
Wow. That was Brandon Miller on XM Sirius Radio with Justin Termini. How was that happen? How did that happen? What happened? Yeah.
I cannot believe that's public that he said that. He called Michael Jordan old, and Mike was still like, yeah, that's my guy. And Mike probably likes it.
That's why Michael Jordan put together The Last Dance, because he knows there are people like that don't remember him.
Right. I mean, from what I understand, it was after LeBron won came back from 3-1. Michael called the production company and was like, "Yeah, hey, let's get that thing going."
Right.
Because I think that there's kids out there who are going to start saying LeBron is the GOAT. LeBron is the GOAT.
Or he didn't know that they'd actually say Paul George.
Or Paul George. Paul George is the GOAT. PG-13 is actually PG-1. It's interesting how, Michael Jordan, especially a guy who you wouldn't think cared about what people have to say about him, but clearly really cares about still being number one. And that's probably just his competitive side.
That's what drove him to be arguably the greatest ever. And then you're done playing. You can't just, okay, click, turn that off.
He's going to be really upset in 20 years when LeBron's doc just washes the floor with him. Because you'd have to imagine, if I had to guess, and I'm almost 100% certain on this, I know at least in his Laker time, but I believe LeBron James has had camera crew following him around for like the past 10 or 15 years. So there is definitely going to be a LeBron James version of The Last Dance, however it may go, but that's going to be a really good documentary.
You know how in The Last Dance, I think we saw a few of MJ's warts.
Yeah.
And LeBron's, I don't think we're going to see
I don't think so.
Warts.
I mean, LeBron's a perfect person, he's never made a mistake in his life. I'm sure. You know what? Actually, I'm sure they'll highlight the decision as like, this is the only thing LeBron has ever done wrong.
I thought of Commissioner Stern last night, because what he said about the decision was it was ill-conceived, poorly produced, and badly, what was the other one?
Yeah.
Badly managed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I thought of ESPN's draft coverage last night.
Yes, it really was. I don't know if you saw Marty Smith yesterday was out in Charlotte, or was out in San Antonio as well. It was really, really weird the entire night. It was just, you put it perfectly. Like they tried to Disney the entire broadcast up, and just none of it, from what I understand, was about basketball, which is the entire point of the NBA draft. And, basketball doesn't need, it's not like football where, you know, it's tough to have the deep football conversations to the masses. Like, I think everyone kind of understands basketball, especially at a surface level. Like, it's really surprising to me that ESPN can't figure out how to talk about basketball for 2 hours. Like, why?
I guess the thinking is, well, you want to get more people watching, but people, if they don't care about basketball, they're not going to watch just because
human interest
they've got
stories.
The player's mom there.
Yeah.
She clearly does not want to have anything to do with the microphone.
Right.
But this will be great. By the way, it was ill-conceived, poorly produced, and badly executed. That's what the commissioner said.
It was
also applied last night. We're talking about the Hornets because they're one of the two, I think, unhappiest fan bases today. Warrior fans are very upset about the Chris Paul trade, and Hornets fans are upset about the pick. So upset, well, even Hugo the Hornet appeared to react badly when the pick was announced. But
we have controversy.
Carlos B. Fly on the YouTube chat. Thank you, Carlos. Hugo the Hornet, it was an optical illusion. The mascot was reaching down to the railings to get down from where he was standing. It was just perfect timing.
And we have looked at the
Carlos
tape.
is Hugo the Hornet. How
That's
else would he
the
know that?
only way, and I don't know if Carlos B. Fly. You know what else flies?
Yes.
Hornets do
They
fly.
do. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just connecting dots. But we did watch the tape after reading Carlos's comment. There's possibly some validity there. I mean, he's
standing on a railing.
He is standing on the railing as the pick's happening. You lose me in the sense of if you really slow it down. There's definitely some slumping happening. Like, it's not just a casual, like, oh, let me quickly get down here and let myself down. Like, there is still some slumping of the shoulders. The head goes down.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to read too much into mascot body language, but I don't know. Something tells me Hugo the Hornet's not thrilled and gonna give an earful to Mitch Kupchak.
It's like the equivalent of lip reading on the court is body language of an 8-foot tall Green Hornet.
Yes.
Carlos also says, well, you know, Michael's no longer majority owner. No fear in speaking his mind. I think he's talking about Brandon Miller.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Brandon Miller, he's like, yeah, that guy's out of here. And so might as well trash talk him. And again, I think Michael Jordan probably actually really likes that. I could see Michael Jordan being like, oh yeah, this guy's not just sucking up to me. He's treating me like a real competitor and he's talking mess back to me. I could see Mike really being like, I appreciate that. That tells me about your competitive spirit.
I have a question for the Kings fan inside you. Not the media guy, the expert on the draft and so many other things. Just
guy.
the Kings fan deep down inside you.
Okay.
How much do you trust Monty McNair today?
A lot. I trust Monty a lot. He's until further notice, I guess. He really
Were you disappointed at all in the draft? I was disappointed. I understand it.
Yeah.
Not disappointed in, the team let me down, but I just a little disappointed. Like, I thought more would happen. On the other hand, I get that. Well, we're just probably setting up some more exciting things.
I agree with you. I was disappointed yesterday. I think they could have found a guy at 24 that could have really impacted winning this season. I think you could have just been the guy that was actually taken at 24 in Omax, but I was definitely disappointed, but I see the bigger picture. And, you know, at this moment, I trust that Monty McNair is going to look to bring in a guy with that additional cap space now that they have that's going to impact winning, but also fill out the roster as well. So in Monty, I trust at the moment until further notice, until he gives me reason not to. But I just feel like Monty McNair, with the way that he's figured out how to build this roster so far, if you give him money when other teams don't have money, I'm really interested to see how he's able to really work this free agency in the Kings' advantage, as they're really the best team out there that has available cap space. There's really not many teams out there who even have cap space, and especially the ones that do aren't very good. Like, you're talking the Rockets have the most available at 60 mil. The Jazz have 47.
The Rockets get their act together. They're scary.
They could be. I really like the draft they put together yesterday. I think I've heard the James Harden rumors have started to quiet a little in Houston. So I think that's probably for the better of them. I think that they could really build something if they want to just kind of add a couple pieces. I think I've heard Brook Lopez is a name that they're looking at to kind of do that JJ Redick thing where they just pay him a lot of money to essentially be just be there for a year or two. And I think Houston's not far away from adding, but I think the Kings also with the amount of cap space they have can really do some damage and build a good roster.
Coming up next here, our post-draft day autopsy continues. An underwhelming draft day means free agency could get very juicy for the Kings, but how many of the available guys would you really want? Next, it's Chris and Company, Watkins and Whitey, Sactown Sports.
Need your Niners fix? Sactown Sports has you covered.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think Trey looks significantly better than he did last year. I really do. I think his confidence is there. I think that he's throwing really good passes. I mean, just watching him, he just looks so much more comfortable and confident in the pocket, and I really appreciate that from him, from all the work that he's put into it. He just looks like he's having fun, because when he's out there having a good time, it definitely brings up everyone around him.
Get all your 49ers coverage leading into the 2023 season at Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sacramento Kings basketball is back this summer. Catch 6 games of NBA action and fun for the whole family when the California Classic Summer League returns on July 3rd and 5th. The Kings will host the Golden State Warriors, Los Angeles Lakers, Miami Heat, and newly added San Antonio Spurs and Charlotte Hornets with the #1 and #2 NBA draft picks. 2-day passes start at just $42 and include access to all 6 games. Visit kings.com/California Classic for more information and to buy your tickets today.
Summer's here and the deals are heating up at Fastener's Tool Outlet. You'll find scorching deals this Saturday on Makita Tools. Get 2 free batteries with the purchase of a circular saw kit and get $50 off any 40-volt tool kit. Fastener's Tool Outlet is turning up the heat on Makita summer savings this Saturday. Buy a 2-piece combo kit and get 2 extra free batteries. Come in to Fastener's Tool Outlet this week, 6701 Power Inn Road, or on the web at fastenersinc.net.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street. Right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please, gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Oh, God, he's back. Who's back? The clown. The naked one? Yes, Giggles. He just drove on the lot in a new Kia. What, does he want to trade it in? No, he wants to show it off. Isn't he showing off enough? Oh, here he comes.
See what Elk Grove Kia did for me? That's service. That's why they got my business, not you.
I think we've already seen too much of your business. Thank you.
Elk Grove Kia. Great service for everyone.
Elk Grove Kia has never made it easier for you to show it off. Like the hottest all-electric EV in the market, the luxurious EV6. Save big with lease specials of $10,000 below MSRP. Not just 1 or 2, but every EV6 in stock. Don't worry about credit. No credit, bad credit, charge-offs, repos. Don't worry. Our team has over 100 years of experience. Others say no. Elk Grove Kia says yes. Get your EV6 today at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or elkgrovekia.com and show it off today.
Elk Grove Kia.
Selling your home can be stressful. Scott Marsh here to tell you about Bridgehaven Homes. They are a local home buying company that offers homeowners an easier way to sell their home. Bridgehaven Homes gives you an all-cash offer for your home, no matter what the condition, within 24 hours. You pick the date you wish to close and sell on your terms. No repairs, no showings, and no realtor commissions. Call 916-299-6040. That's 916-299-6040 or bridgehavenhomes.com.
Everyone loves to be outside, and so do mosquitoes. Protect yourself against mosquitoes and West Nile virus by following these simple tips. At least once a week, look around your yard and drain stagnant water from any containers where mosquitoes can breed. Remember to use an effective mosquito repellent, especially at dawn and dusk when mosquitoes are most active. Close all doors and be sure screens are in good working condition. At the Mosquito and Vector Control District, we're here to help. Visit us at fightthabite.net.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings made a big splash with their first-round pick at last night's draft.
Sacramento is trading center Richuan Holmes and the 24th pick to Dallas.
With the trade of Richuan Holmes, the Kings now have almost $45 million available in free agency, with $31 million in cap space and access to the full $12.5 million mid-level exception. The Sacramento Kings traded up to pick 34 to select Xavier guard Colby Jones and selected Furman's Jalen Slauson with the 54th pick. For more information on them and undrafted free agent signings, check out SactownSports.com, where Frankie Carselli and Joe Giroux are hard at work putting together all sorts of stories and information for you. Those are your headlines. Now let's return to Whitey Gleason and Chris Watkins for Hour 3 of Chris & Company.
Look, here's a big part of what the Kings did yesterday. If you want to trade for star, as we've heard, maybe the Kings are in the market for OG Anunoby or Pascal Siakam or someone like that. That makes sense on the surface, but these days it costs so much in future draft capital to do that. Going back to, the Gobert trade and the Donovan Mitchell trades from last year, it's like you're talking, okay, minimum 3 or 4 future picks.
Yeah, no.
It's like, it's kind of prohibitive. So that's why it makes sense. Crazy. You make the trade you made yesterday, free up some cap space, and go after what you want in free agency.
Yeah, or again, they can still explore trades as well. They've been hot on the OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam.
But that's going to cost me so many future picks.
It probably will, right? Yeah, and maybe even Keegan Murray. It could cost you a lot, but it also just gives you room to also, make those trades, but still sign guys on top of that if you want to. It just gives them a lot of flexibility, which I think is something that Monty McNair really covets. Is just the ability to always move on from pieces or always just have flexibility, because you never know when a star is going to turn up that you don't expect, or a free agent's going to maybe be more available than what you've previously thought. I think it's just a good situation for them to put themselves in, and again, just giving them as much versatility as possible with what they can do with the remaining roster spots.
Of course, if you are determined to fill your needs through free agency, of course, you're limited by what's available. Right. Are there any guys out there that we know of that are available free agents that really excite you? My guy, I don't think he's going to be available, is Cam Johnson. Mm-hmm. And Brooklyn's probably going to match if he gets an offer from somebody who's restricted.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's realistic. Other than that, does anybody do it for you, Chris?
Other than that, not really, honestly. Cam Johnson is my guy as well. I don't know if you just talked me into it, but I think that Cam Johnson really checks a lot of, if not every box that the Kings really have concerns at with that other forward spot next to Keegan Murray. I think Cam Johnson would be perfect. Fit. I really agree. I think
I like Bruce Brown a lot.
I like Bruce Brown a lot.
Obviously, he would not.
Yeah, it's not a perfect fit, but you could definitely make it work and have it be very successful. Chris Middleton, I like the fit. Money is a big obstacle there. Draymond, Kuzma, Jeremy Grant, to me, all kind of fall in the same category, where it's just what you're paying for them. I just don't think is going to be worth. I don't think the juice is going to be worth the squeeze on those guys.
I hear you like Brook Lopez.
You heard false, because I love Brook Lopez.
Okay.
I love Brook.
How am I going to play him if I got him?
How
am I going to play him with Sabonis?
Again, they don't have to play together. They can play some minutes together, absolutely. But I think the beauty of Brook Lopez is he is a little bit older of a guy, so I think it's a little bit more understandable if maybe you tell Brook some nights, like, hey, you're not going to start every night. We don't need you to start every night. You're more of a positional luxury. You're going to get 20 to 25 minutes, maybe even 30 on a given night. But what we need you to do is really just protect the rim, be big, and be a great defender, but also, stand in the corner and space the floor.
He's
like
coming
you did
off
in
his
Milwaukee.
career year, right? Isn't he going to want to go somewhere we can play more than 25 minutes a game?
That's the only thing is, what does Brook want out of his career for the rest of this? I mean, he can get one more big payday after the season he had last year, second in defensive player of the year, or he can go to a winner, which, he's been on a winning franchise for the past handful of years in Milwaukee. I think he can be a really valuable piece to a winning team. Or like I said in the last segment, he can go over to Houston and be a part of that, but also, and who knows how much success Houston will have, but he can also collect checks at the same time. So
that's another
it's
reason
kind of
Houston
what he wants.
Scares me because they're supposedly a team that's in on Brook Lopez, and they're not even quietly, they're just steadily amassing a considerable amount of talent.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Young talent at that. Yeah. I mean, they got Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun was already in the building. They got all the draft picks from yesterday, Amen Thompson. They've really improved just from a youth perspective. They've just got a lot of young guys. They got Ime Udoka running the show now. He brings a certain level of intensity and requires a certain amount out of his players. I think Houston's absolutely on the right track. The thing about the Lopez's is I don't discriminate when it comes to my Lopez's.
Really?
I'll take Robin. I will gladly take Robin. I just think that's the kind they just bring the profile of the guy that the Kings really need.
Robin have a beef with Slamson that's even more intense than the whole Draymond Sabonis.
But that's their thing. They hate mascots. It's great, and it's a great bit. It's a phenomenal bit. And the Kings could use some little more fun-loving action.
Robin, I could see is like limited minutes, okay.
For sure.
Brooks, I mean, I don't see why he would come to take a secondary role.
Brook is almost like star casting. Like it's just like I wish that we could bring Brook in, but again, I'll take Robin. Robin's, in my opinion, very criminally underrated. Like he's definitely not nearly as good as Brook.
Did you know that
but
they're
he
kind
provides
of
a lot.
Comic book nerds? Did you know that?
No, they're like massive nerds. They like I've seen them in Disneyland.
They own land on Disneyland.
Yeah,
or Disney World in Orlando.
They're like obsessed with Disneyland. Like obsessed with Disneyland.
They both they left practice when they both had practice at the same time, and they flew over to London to watch a Star Wars premiere.
Really?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
That does not surprise
Bless
me.
them. Yeah,
they're hilarious. I mean, they are legitimately hilarious people. And also, I mean, you throw on the fact that they're 7 feet tall twins who are just like they literally look like Sideshow Bob. Like they act and look like
Robin
Sideshow
especially.
Bob.
Yeah,
Robin especially.
This year, when Donovan Mitchell scored 71 points, Robin Lopez tweeted out, "Me and Donovan Mitchell combined for 72 points."
I need that.
On the YouTube chat, Amar7605 signed Nas Reed.
For sure.
Mr. Jason 916 in caps, Kuzma. Mr. Jason 916 also says Middleton always hurt.
For sure. I mean, that's the story with a lot of guys.
To me, personally, Middleton and Draymond are in the same boat where I feel like they're probably going to end up staying where they are.
Yeah, I think so.
And even if I got some of their attention, I just don't think I have the luxury of doing the dance with them because I've got other guys that I need to pursue.
Yeah, I think Middleton would also just cost way too much. I think he declined a $40 million player option. I think he's going to look for more years.
He gets hurt a lot.
He does get hurt a good amount, but I think you're right. I think Milwaukee's probably just going to sign him to a 3-year, 4-year, $30+ million contract, and that'll be the end of that. Because I think Chris Middleton is best in Milwaukee, and I think Milwaukee is best with Chris Middleton playing for them. They can't really, there's no other move for Milwaukee to make. So if they lose out on Chris Middleton, they're kind of screwed. So I'd be shocked if he doesn't go back to Milwaukee.
Here's a great question on the YouTube chat from Carlos B. Fly, who's been a YouTube chat star today.
He has. No, Carlos B. Fly is,
yeah.
He's been definitely a commenter of the day for sure.
Would you prefer one big name to use up the cap space like Grant, Kuzma, or Middleton, or rather have Jay Hart, Brown, Reed, Sasha, Lyles, Watanabe, and continue to remain flexible? Super question.
Yeah, I mean, my philosophy has always and will always be take more people and maximize that value instead of just paying for a guy for market value. I think all those guys that you listed are perfect candidates I guess Bruce Brown and Josh Hart are probably guys who are more likely to get the higher end of the pay scale. But, you mentioned Watanabe, you mentioned, Trey Lyles, even Naz Reid, maybe to an extent. I think Naz is probably going to get a nice little contract, but I would much rather try and find value signings than paying Kyle Kuzma. I would much rather spend $25 million on Watanabe, whatever. We'll throw all those Trey Lyles, Naz Reid,
Sasha Vezenkov.
I would rather give those guys $25 million, the collection of those 5 or 4, than give one guy, Kyle Kuzma, that $25 million. I just feel like you're more likely to get value and probably get equal, if not more, production out of those guys than just paying one guy. Like it's really hard to live up to a $25 million deal, and I just don't know if Kuzma and Jeremy Grant are guys that are worth it.
If I could get Bruce Brown and Naz Reid, I'd feel like
I think that's good.
I think that I don't know that I think they're maybe going to both be a little too expensive to get them both, but if I could, I'd feel like my work here is done.
If you can get one of those
ready
guys
to kick behind,
I'll take it. Yeah, absolutely. Mid-level exception should be $12.5 million this year, if I'm not mistaken. So if you can get Naz Reid or Bruce Brown at that number, I really like that. And then you can also use the additional cap space as well. Like the mid-level exception doesn't go into that $38 million. So you have tons of money on top of the mid-level exception to really build this thing out and not just bag out one guy.
Who we don't want, no matter what you hear, no matter what you read, and where the Kings sit in the West after draft day and a flurry of trades. That's next. Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports is your source for the 49ers.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful.
Did that leave a bitter taste in your mouth?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Me and Kyle had a long meeting the other day. We watched tape. We talked about it. We put it behind us. And just going through the tape and just look how sluggish and, like, how bad it looked on tape. Like I said, just reflecting on last offseason, it kind of played a big role in that. And I'll never put nothing like that back on tape again.
Tune into Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest 49ers offseason developments.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Byers Enterprises.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Friday forecast looking mainly sunny with light southwest winds. We'll have afternoon temperatures in the upper 70s to about 80 degrees with overnight lows in the mid-50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
To protect your home from the top down, start from the roof line up. Get clog-free Byers Leaf Guard gutters, fire-safe roofing from Byers Roofing, and power your home with Byers Solar. Act now for $500 off Byers Leaf Guard gutters at thatsbyers.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to 4hims.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/JOY.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
We always value the optionality and flexibility when we can acquire it. We've got, I think, this was a great season, for a lot of reasons. We want to have a long playoff run here and continue to compete. And to do that in today's NBA, you have to be able to build your team out, not just in the very near term, but over the course of many years. And so we're always having that balance, right? Well, what can we do to add to the team now, but how does that affect what we can do going forward? So we think, what we're able to do tonight and what we've done going back to the deadline and past years will give us a lot of options, not just this summer, but as we get into next year.
Monty McNair last night on draft night. So the Kings have some flexibility now. Chris Watkins, what do they do with it? What do you think you're gonna do with it? We have on the YouTube chat from Pike 916. Still think a trade is coming and a free agent signing. Fans trying to sort through their feelings last night. Probably maybe a little bit of disappointment that nothing bigger happened, but some excitement over what could be brewing.
Yeah, I wonder if Richuan Holmes being moved in order to clear cap space, that kind of actually does lead me more to believe that the route is going to be free agency because.
Oh, me too.
Because if you should have kept Richuan Holmes if your plan was to make a move via trade, because that's the contract you can send out to try and match. Well, now, again, as we mentioned at the top of the show, the Kings only have 6 guys signed currently to the team. And if you're going to make a trade, you're now limited to those 6 guys, not including Richuan Holmes anymore. So you're limiting what you can send out. And also, you just have tons of cap space. You don't use that cap space on trades. You have to match the salary. So adding cap space really doesn't help you
right
much
now.
via trade.
I'm closing that book on a big name trade right for now anyway, just if I'm reading the tea leaves right. But I'm okay with that because, again, as we discussed not that long ago, to make a significant trade now, you have to give up so much in future number ones. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I think the Kings still should be a little bit hesitant to move on from their first round picks. Like, there was a point where that was gold, and I think the Kings can still value or can still do more with those picks like later on in the future. I think you should hold out for somebody who's truly going to potentially change your calculus if you're going to be trading those draft picks. So we see teams like Denver, like if the team that just won the title seems to really be coveting those late draft picks, those early seconds, late first, something tells me if you're trying to compete, you should be doing that as well, because that's telling me that underneath the new CBA, they understand that with the way the salaries are going to be distributed, finding guys later in the first round, early second round, if you can find guys who can actually play, that's going to be the most valuable pieces, because everyone else, it's going to be really an upper class, everybody else in the middle class, and then just a couple rookie scale guys.
And Chris, you and Jason and I were talking yesterday. If this had been about improving the roster with the pick, they probably would have gotten Tim Hardaway Jr. in exchange instead of just the trade exception coming in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't you think Christian Brown was an absolute revelation for the Nuggets last year?
Yes.
The new CBA makes it basically very difficult, if not impossible, to have 3 max players. And I think Denver has 3 plus Gordon, who's almost there.
Right.
So they love their team. Sometimes you're spending too much on your payroll and you don't like your team, which is a real problem. They at least, obviously, they have a championship team, but it does make it tough for them to add pieces. And even though they won the championship and they're in great shape, they're going to lose most likely Bruce Brown.
Right. No, and the Kings can be in a similar situation to that, as they're already paying De'Aaron Fox. They're presumably going to be paying Domantas Sabonis. And then again, Malik Monk's contract is up at the end of next year. I don't know what Malik is going to want, but you would assume that it's not going to be the mid-level exception again. They're going to have to dig deep into the pockets if they want to keep this current core of guys together. And the new CBA is going to be a little restrictive on how much they can spend, and already having 2 max guys with Fox and Sabonis, you're really going to have to figure out how to build out the rest of your roster with guys that aren't currently on the roster. So they're going to have to be really smart about how they spend their money really the next 2 years, and what they do and the guys they bring in.
Do you want Jeremy Grant?
No, I don't.
I don't either. Why not?
I just think he's a guy who, you look at his numbers and they look awesome, but when you watch him play, it just doesn't. You never really are like, wow, Jeremy Grant is. There's points where he's the best player out on the floor, second best player out there on the floor. He's a guy who's really just been, high usage, low efficiency. He's been best when he's in a smaller role. And ever since he went to Detroit to really, show that he could be a first or second option on a team, he's been on losing teams, and he's put up great numbers for sure
on losing teams.
I just don't know if you put him in a Sacramento situation, he's not going to be taking 15 to 17 shots a game. He'll probably be taking 10 max. Well, what does his numbers look like at that point? He's also not doesn't get defensive stats to say, I think he's averaging under a block a game, if not right at a block a game. And I think people view him as like a rim protector. He's just not really the guy that I think people think he is by looking at his numbers. He's a really good role player, but I'm not going to trust him to be my second or third option on like a conference title team.
Do you want, as many people on the YouTube chat do, Kyle Kuzma?
I could talk myself into it, but it's not guaranteed success, and it's not guaranteed to really change your calculus again. And that's really when you're talking about paying somebody that much. I just don't know if Kyle Kuzma turns you into, again, like the Kings need to be thinking every single move they make. How does this get us closer to conference champions, to NBA finals? Like, I don't see how Kyle Kuzma at $25 million is a guarantee to put you there.
Somehow he became one of the most overrated players in the NBA, and I'm not sure how that happened because it doesn't typically happen with players who play in D.C., but I think because he was in D.C., no one saw him, and they remember the guy who played for the Lakers. He certainly had his moments, and then he's averaging more than 20 a game. Oh, he's phenomenal. Let's get him.
Same thing as Jeremy Grant. It's like, yeah, he's playing phenomenal, but on a really, really bad team. And what he brings right now, how is it universal to what the Kings would do? Like, he's not a great defender. He has length, but doesn't really use it on the defensive end. He's a high volume scorer, but not very efficient as well. Really, it's just the same story with him and Jeremy Grant, except Kyle Kuzma doesn't even bring the illusion of bringing good defense. So again, maybe if we're talking 20 or something like 20 mil, I'm okay with, but if you're going to pay Kyle Kuzma at what would be, the going rate for small forwards, or what he thinks is the going rate for small forwards, it's a really big risk that I don't think the Kings should take.
If you look at the guys that Monty McNair drafts, and you look at how we've talked about it, how efficient they are, how versatile they are, I think it's safe to assume that he would also like to acquire that type of player in free agency, just more accomplished versions of that player. And the guys we were just talking about, I don't think they're that guy.
Can I also, just for reference here, can I list out small forwards and what they make in the NBA? Is that okay? Kevin Durant, top small forward, 47 mil. Kawhi, 45. Jimmy Butler makes 45. Brandon Ingram is the fourth highest small forward at $33 million per year. Michael Porter makes $33 million. Jaylen Brown makes $31. Seventh is Gordon Hayward, who makes $31 million. Yikes. So this is more, here is getting into the range where we're talking Kyle Kuzma, Jeremy Grant money. DeMar DeRozan makes 28. Andrew Wiggins makes 24. And Mikal Bridges makes 21. DeAndre Hunter and Keldon Johnson and Bojan Bogdanovic all make 20. OG makes 18. So the question is, you have Andrew Wiggins making 24, DeMar DeRozan making 28. Does it feel like Kyle Kuzma and Jeremy Grant should be paid more money than Andrew Wiggins?
Nope.
I think that's just, I agree with you, but that's the decision that people have to make. Mikal Bridges, $21 million. I know that's a discount for Mikal. That was when he was on Phoenix and wasn't a primary option, but you're going to have to do some selling to me if you're going to tell me that Kyle Kuzma is worth $25 to $28 million when you can get Andrew Wiggins, or you can get DeAndre Hunter even for 20, or anything like that. I just think that that's a massive overpay.
Kyle Kuzma is a very talented player, but because of his inefficiency and his inconsistency, he's the type of player that can burn you long-term if you overpay for him.
Yes, absolutely.
You just don't get back close to what you're paying for.
Right. And he's a perfectly fine player. It's just kind of like what you're saying. He's just, if in 4 years he hasn't improved still, well, then you're way overpaying for a guy who's just kind of, an average starting small forward.
Hey, here's something. Chris and company want to send you to Thunder Valley Casino next Thursday to check out Boston's favorite angry comedian, Bill Burr.
Oh, I thought it was Nick Cattles.
Hit the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now for your chance to win. We're looking for lucky caller number
3.
Number 3. We're looking for lucky caller number 3. Good luck. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. Coming up, any chance the Kings drafted a guy who's really going to help them? Next on Chris and Co. on Sactown Sports. Ha ha.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Apparently, there is a cage match brewing between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg Now, I hope this happens for many reasons. Number one, it just goes with the downfall of our society. Number two, nothing more fun than seeing super ultra mega billionaires just beat the hell out of each other. Number three, it would obviously be a terrible, terrible, terrible fight.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing in me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new place. Nothing is everything.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we would buy from ourselves. At Elk Grove Honda, we include many benefits that a private seller just can't match. Our Honda-trained technicians only certify our Hondas if they pass a thorough 182-point inspection, and our certified pre-owned Hondas are under 5 years old. So you know you're getting the newest Hondas in prime condition. See our exceptional selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical pool, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Attic Man Heating and Air Conditioning, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
When the world's best players get fitted for new golf clubs, they want to see their ball flight outdoors. Why should you settle for any less? The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is the area's unquestioned leader in delivering a new age of golf club fitting to Northern California. With 14 trained, skilled professionals to show you how to hit the ball farther and straighter, satisfied customers have increased their yardage, improved their games, and gained confidence. Call 916-808-2531 to get started. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
Single Mom Strong is a local nonprofit organization with a mission to empower single mothers and their children. They improve outcomes for families by increasing economic stability with workforce development tools, from pre-employment coaching to their free career clothing closet, making quality preschool accessible by making it affordable, even on a single income budget, offering inexpensive full-day childcare to school-age children of single parents when school is closed, and so much more. Call 916-735-5350 to learn how you can get involved. This message is sponsored by Chapel Accountancy Group.
Sacramento Kings basketball is back this summer. Catch 6 games of NBA action and fun for the whole family when the California Classic Summer League returns on July 3rd and 5th. The Kings will host the Golden State Warriors, Los Angeles Lakers, Miami Heat, and newly added San Antonio Spurs and Charlotte Hornets with the #1 and #2 NBA draft picks. 2-day passes start at just $42 and include access to all 6 games. Visit kings.com/California Classic for more information and to buy your tickets today.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. It's Ram season, Chad. What's going on at Hoblet?
We have some of the biggest savings of the year on new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4s with over $11,000 off MSRP. Or if you're worried about interest rates going up, save $6,000 off MSRP plus get financing as low as 2.9% for 72 months. And remember, Hoblet is California's #1 Ram truck dealer and has the best selection and deals on HD Rams too.
Hey, that's some pretty great savings, but why drive all the way to Hoblet?
We have no surprise fees, add-ons, or dealer markups, just savings. One of the many reasons we received the Walter P. Chrysler Award for outstanding customer service for 3 years in a row now. Plus, with Hoblet's Peace of Mind Guarantee, you can buy with confidence.
Stop by their Hoblet Ram Truck Center for a test drive today, or search, select, and save through the whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Best prices, best selection, period.
11,000 total net savings after 5091 factory rebates and 6,000 dealer discounts. 5091 factory rebates in lieu of 2.9% APR for 72 months on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. Must have 700 plus FICO score to qualify. 1516 per thousand borrowed. 5 at each net savings. Simple VIN 622619.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings made a big splash trade during last night's NBA draft.
Sacramento is trading center Richuan Holmes and the 24th pick to Dallas.
The Sacramento Kings trade of Richuan Holmes leaves them with approximately $45 million in money this offseason, with $31 million in cap space and access to the full $12.5 million mid-level exception. Sacramento also traded up to pick 34 to select Xavier guard Colby Jones and selected Furman's Jalen Slauson with the 54th pick in the draft. For more information on those players and undrafted free agent signings, check out SactownSports.com, where Frankie Cardicelli and Joe Giroux are hard at work getting all the information out for you. Those are your headlines. Now let's return to Whitey Gleason and Chris Watkins here on Chris and Company.
I don't know why, but earlier we were talking about and talking in impersonations of, what do we have, Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck?
Yeah,
I don't remember how that started, but it turns out
because it's the Disney broadcast, the Disney-fied NBA draft broadcast.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's it. I don't know. Happy birthday, by the way, Kyle. Turns out one of the players who was drafted last night in the first round does a Donald Duck impersonation. So we may have to get to that at some point.
It's our guy Grady Dick, who just keeps providing the content from yesterday. There's a lot of jokes that can be made there.
Yeah, it was a pretty good Donald Duck.
It's decent. I don't really know how he does it. I mean, I can do like the squeaking noise or the whatever squawking noise, but I can't. Yeah, I can't like actually make sound like make coherent words with it. Again, I can just like make the noise.
Sports.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
It's like filling air with your cheek. I don't know. That's all I can do is just like but I can't like actually say anything.
Let me ask you about this potential free agent signing for the Kings. Okay, we've gone through a number that we don't care for. How about Harrison Barnes? Harrison Barnes.
It's tough. I know. I got you. I had to. It took me a part of a half second of that silence was me trying to figure it out. But it's the Harrison Barnes thing is so interesting.
So many guys we talk about, and I know people like, it's Harrison. We need to upgrade from Harrison. And some of these guys are not necessarily upgrades, and he knows everything you do. Now, I think it was Dave yesterday, might have been today, on Twitter, whatever his vast connections are.
Yeah.
And they run deep within the Kings organization. And I believe he suggested that things appear to be going the wrong way.
Yeah.
Harrison Barnes and the Kings appear to be drifting further apart. But you could do a lot worse.
Yeah, I got that vibe from when we started hearing Indiana having interest and Dallas hearing interest. That's kind of when it really seeped in that Harrison's got some suitors out there, and there's going to be people who really want to bring in his services, and it's not going to be a matter of like, oh, yeah, no one really wants Harrison Barnes, and he's just going to sit on offers until he gets one he likes. I think that there's going to be some real competitive offers out there, and if the Kings, Monty McNair's got to decide this week, do you want to bring back Harrison? And I'm sure that he's already had the discussion and probably already has a decision, but they need to know what they're going to do going into free agency, because I just don't see Harrison Barnes being available a week into free agency and kind of being a Kings quote unquote backup option. Like Harrison Barnes is not going to wait for the Kings to make their choice and then he'll make his. He's going to go and try and get his money. And the Kings also have to understand that, they need to prioritize who they want and they can't just kind of let it all play out.
I wonder if they're thinking maybe Keegan and Sasha as your front court. Sasha, now you can pursue him full throttle because the draft is over.
I'm okay with Sasha obviously coming over. He's going to be a really good role player. He might one day, even this season, sooner rather than later, earn a starting spot. But to me, if the Kings are planning for Sasha Vezenkov to be their starting small power forward, I'm gonna have some questions. Like if they don't address that position by the time training camp starts, I just think you just haven't seen it. And the fact that you don't know, you can have all the faith in the world that Sasha is going to come over and be a great 15-year star, whatever. You can have confidence in that all you want.
He's already like 40.
I just, he's pushing it. He's pushing it.
Yeah.
He's actually going to come in and be the oldest player on the team, which is strange. It's going to be strange. But I think if that's their plan, I think that's just not a good plan. I think you need to bring in somebody at least comparable to him to kind of like raise your floor of what that position could be if Sasha doesn't pan out being the guy you think.
Willie Bone on the YouTube chat speaks for many when he says good riddance HB, which I understand, but still,
man,
that's
tough.
He has contributed, and okay, that's fine. But what's the move? What's the upgrade? Is it there?
Exactly. I'm Harrison Barnes hater.
Cam
number
Johnson
one.
would be a great idea, but I just don't think they can get Cam Johnson. He would be perfect.
He would be perfect.
But he's a restricted free agent.
So, and
the team that he currently plays for likes him a lot.
They do. And there's no guarantee that they'll sign him back, especially if it's a really big number. Maybe if the Kings have a lot of confidence in Cameron Johnson being their guy and they throw $20 million at him. Maybe Brooklyn's not so comfortable with that. So it's not out of the question that they can't get Cam Johnson, but I mean, all of the things leading, the fact that Cam Johnson was part of the return for Kevin freaking Durant. So they're going to try and hold on to those assets. I don't think that they're just going to let him walk for nothing. Maybe this is just me talking out my mouth here, but maybe there's a sign and trade with Harrison Barnes. You can work out there with them and Cam Johnson. I mean, there's options for the Kings to still use the Harrison Barnes spot to do a sign and trade, but at this point, I would be pretty surprised if Harrison Barnes comes back. And I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but it just doesn't feel like it's trending that way. And I think that the Kings would be better for trying at least to find an upgrade at that position. Whether or not they're successful or not will to be determined, but I think you have to at least try and upgrade there.
Top of the hour, the great Jerry Reynolds is going to join us with his views on where the Kings stand here and the draft. I thought the Kings got a guy in Colby Jones who could help them this year, maybe as a guard, combo guard, a really skilled player, maybe not the most athletic. As I said, one report I saw compared him to, it said he was boxy and square as an athlete. I don't know.
It's so strange. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I know. Jalen Slauson from Furman is probably, to me, looks like he shapes up as a two-way guy.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, he comes into camp and dominates. You never know, but it looks like that's probably where he's headed. And Colby Jones is a guy who is going to have to earn his minutes, but will have a chance as a very smart, versatile guard.
The one thing that I really liked that both of them brought, and I mentioned this earlier, was they both have defensive profiles.
Yeah.
But also both of them are really good with the ball in their hand. And I think that's something.
Good passers.
Yes, good passers,
one of the
good
most
decision
underrated
makers.
skills in basketball.
Absolutely. And it's just you have to be able to dribble, shoot, or pass. And, if you can't shoot, you better be able to do the other two. And I think that's what both of those guys bring is, they get the ball in their hand, and it's not going to be a Mo Harkless situation or, other guys we've seen, Ben McLemore, where it's like, we really can't do anything unless we're open, and that's really our only skill. Guys who can put the ball on the floor, create plays for others as well. The Kings are really, really desperately needing that because really Malik Monk and De'Aaron and Domas were the only people setting anybody up last year. I mean, Kevin Huerter would step up and get assists when De'Aaron was out, but besides that, Harrison Barnes is a guy under one assist. Keegan Murray, I don't think got many assists last year. The more and more guys that they can have on the floor that contribute to moving that ball around, I think that's just a fantastic move for Monty to bring those guys in.
Did you hear Colby Jones, the word he used to describe himself?
No.
I think he said he's a
Please don't say Willie Cauley-Stein.
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
good.
Connector, which is
oh my gosh. Come on, sign me up. You're drafted just off of that. If you're calling yourself a glue guy, I mean, come on.
But also the way it uniquely applies to what the Kings do and what the Warriors' similar system, but that's what they're looking for. And again, I think you can apply a lot of that to their search for free agents and other trade pieces. For example, I love Pascal Siakam and the idea of him coming here. The more I think about it, I don't know if he would fit in this offense.
Yeah, he's a bit of a ball stopper.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's not what the Kings need at all.
But yes, he's not a fit.
No, they already you really only have room for one, and Malik Monk, if anything, is considered your ball stopper, and even he's done a really good job of adjusting into the offense. But I completely agree with you. I think the Kings need as many guys who are just going to run the system as possible because they don't really need people to score 15, 20 points per game. They kind of already have a surplus of offense. what they need is connectors. They need guys who are playing defense, doing the little things, just trying to play winning basketball. And at the end of the day, those are the kind of guys that are going to more than likely be on teams that find success, are guys who really don't care about stats, but care about winning at the end of the day and doing all the little things that attribute to winning.
So I think we have a framework of the type of player that Monty McNair likes.
Yep.
And I think if we can, it's not completely filled in yet, a little soft around the edges, but if you apply that to free agents, I think that's a very useful tool in determining what types of players that are available that he's really going to want to pursue.
Yeah, and that's not guys like Kyle Kuzma. That's
right.
It might be a guy like Jeremy Grant, I guess, but you would probably have to have a conversation with him and say, you're not going to be a scorer on this team. We want you to be more like the guy that you were in Denver and in OKC. I think that to go back to the earlier question, by Carlos, I think that the Kings would be better to sign guys who know their role and are more, to use Colby's term, connectors. They could use a lot more connectors than ball stoppers and guys who are looking for their own stuff.
So does that mean we have to take another look at a guy that Windhorse says could be someone the Kings pursue? Your guy, Draymond Green. That's coming up also as promised. We'll get to who is it that had the Donald Duck? It's
Grady Dick.
Grady Dick's Donald Duck.
Yes.
That and the idea of Draymond Green. Is that a Mickey Mouse idea, Draymond Green to the Kings? That more coming up. Chris and company, Sactown Sports.
The Kings season might be over, but Sactown Sports coverage never stops.
We, as a team, have a ways to go. This is something that you want to be able to build off of.
Stay tuned all off-season to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Since 1776, July 4th has been celebrated as the birth of American independence, but it's been a federal holiday only since 1941. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. It was a mere 7 years later when the Keys family opened their first Naturewood store in Sacramento. And I guess Northern Californians have been celebrating ever since. We celebrate an incredible selection of furniture brands made right here in America. We celebrate the kind of generous hometown hospitality that was important to Walter Keys in 1948 and continues with the Keys family and the Naturewood Home Furnishing staff today. And we celebrate the kind of quality that's been synonymous with Naturewood for all these 74 years. Look for made-in-America brands like Stanton, Sam Moore, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and more during the Naturewood 4th of July sale event. Find the furniture that you will celebrate for years to come. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now. Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
It's Thunder Valley's $20,000 20th anniversary cash giveaway. 5 winners on Friday and Saturday nights in June. One very lucky guest wins $20,000 guaranteed. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Do you have any superstitions on the golf course? You know, most players have some. Links Golf Magazine offers a few. Never tee off in front of someone who just made a birdie. That's sure to incur the wrath of the golf gods. What's your lucky ball marker? Maybe a quarter with your birth year? Never carry an extra ball in your pocket, and never use a ball you deem a water ball on a par 3 with a water hazard. There's a reason they're called water balls. And never use a ball found during a round. Using it the same day is bad karma. And if there's an unbroken tee on the tee box, another golfer left it behind for good reason. Speaking of tees, according to the late Tony Lima, white tees suffered from commonness and can be bad luck. Lee Trevino never used yellow. Other colors are acceptable except pink unless you're Paula Kramer. If you're in the middle of a career round, don't go near the ball washer. You might wash away the ball's magical awesomeness. And never talk to your competitor's ball in flight, yelling, hook, carry, get down, or hit a house. It'll come back to haunt you. Kind of makes you feel normal, huh? That's your golf to go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Hey, kids, it's Carmichael Dave from my good friends at Fire Wings, the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to enjoy all the ball games from all around the country with 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Bone in, bone out. For more convenience, order online. Go to firewings.com. Find a location near you. Grab that order online and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. Fire Wings. Hey, just wing it.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for all your favorite models at low prices and payments, plus low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
He's Chris Watkins. I'm Kevin Michael Whitey Gleason, and the great Jerry Reynolds is going to join us top of the hour with his views of the NBA draft and where the Kings go from here. We've been talking about Draymond Green today. Someone on the YouTube chat actually asked a fair question. Why in the world what's the deal with Draymond Green? Why are you talking about him? Well, there's a good reason.
What's the deal with that?
there's a good reason for that. Ryan Windhorst, the windy one from ESPN, seems to think that there's a chance the Kings will, now that they have cap space, pursue Draymond Green. Why would the Kings do that? Here's Brian Windhorst.
Why do you think so? Why is that interesting?
Because number one, they need a defensive leader. They need someone to set the tone defensively. They need somebody who can play off of Sabonis. Sabonis is an awesome offensive player, but a very limited defensively. Could be the voice of their defense and has won rings next to Mike Brown. Mike Brown knows how to work with him. It's not a far move for his family.
That's true.
We've also seen the Kings have often prioritized going after former Warriors, including Harrison Barnes.
The two organizations are kind of like step brothers because Vivek Ranadive used to be a partial owner of the Golden State Warriors. Like the Warriors kind of looked at the Kings Arena like, we can do better than that, even though the Kings Arena is awesome.
Yeah, they're lighting the beam. It looks great over there.
Some of those reasons make sense. Some of them don't. By the end of that conversation, I think we were in Nowheresville, man.
Yeah. Some of those were taken, I feel like, directly from this show. I feel like he's just been listening and he was like, obviously the Mike Brown fit and all that stuff. It makes sense. There's elements of it that you just can't ignore that makes sense about Draymond coming here. But, there's definitely some real questions. I understand that. There's the age. There's the, will he get along with everybody here? I think that's quite a bit overblown. I feel like everybody is a professional and would probably get over it.
I think it just totally hinges on Sabonis's view of the whole thing. And you may be right.
Yeah.
You could be 100% right. He may say, if he helps us win, but it may also be a thing where it's like, I don't want to play with that bleepity bleep.
Yeah, for sure. And I could see it. And I also wouldn't blame or be mad at Domantas Sabonis if he feels that way, because I've never had my chest stomped on by somebody. So, and also said that, someone has lost respect for me completely. That's, those are very real things that happened, and there would be some reconciliation that would also need to happen. But I think at the end of the day, I just have a really good feeling that Sabonis would probably get over it and they would make things work. I just think Steph Curry loves Draymond Green. If Draymond Green was really a bad person. I think that we probably would have heard about it and he probably wouldn't have lasted as long. Like, I think Draymond is just a really, they all say it, but like, he's just a really fiery competitor whose emotions on the basketball floor sometimes get the best of him. But I don't think he's necessarily a bad guy or anything like that. Like, I don't think he would actually be a locker room problem here in Sacramento. At least I don't think so.
I just think basketball wise, that's where it really all starts, obviously.
Right.
And I'm not quite. I understand how he would, as I said earlier, organize them at both ends of the floor. And that's especially important with this team defensively. But I think that Draymond Green is what it takes to get them to a legitimate contender status is an overvaluation of how good the team is and how good he is.
I think as it currently stands, sure. But I think maybe if you were to round out the roster more, it might start to make a little bit more sense. I don't think Draymond Green singularly is a piece that you will say, again, like if Draymond is your crown achievement from this offseason, I don't think that puts you into the championship or into the conference title conversation. But if you can add Draymond Green and 2 or 3 other pieces along with that are real contributors, I think it's more just Draymond can organize everything. Is your question with Draymond more that his offensive fit isn't going to be worth what he provides on the defensive end, as well as maybe what he provides on defensive end isn't as great as what it used to be?
Yeah, he's increasingly limited offensively, and also there's a little bit of repetition, if you will, between he and Sabonis. Last year, they basically did the same thing for their respective teams. I mean, Sabonis bringing the ball up the floor, it's like, hey, that's what Draymond does.
Right.
So somebody's role is going to have to change. And I know you pointed out correctly, astutely, that, they don't have to play at the same time. But still, I know
when it matters, at the end of the game, they probably will.
What they need is to improve defensively. Draymond would help in that area, but I also think they need somebody who's going to help them more offensively as well.
Sure.
If you're going to get a really limited offensive player is going to help you defensively, I don't think where the Kings are right now, it doesn't help them that much. And that's aside from all the baggage, which is not nothing.
Yeah.
An older player, and he's not gonna be cheap, you're not gonna get him for the mid-level. So that I'm out on him, even if he were to say, yeah, I might want to come there, which I don't think he will.
What about if the Kings
because he knows that he's better off with the Warriors. Steph Curry makes him look like a Hall of Fame player.
What if the Kings have a conversation with Draymond that's probably going to be similar to a conversation that the Warriors are going to have with Chris Paul? What if they ask Draymond Green, we'll pay you whatever you feel is fair compensation, but will you come off the bench? Does that change anything?
If I'm Draymond Green, I'm like, no, I'm not interested in that.
That might be what it is.
On 4 championship teams.
Sure. Today's price is not yesterday's price.
Yeah. You want me to come off the bench for the team that we just beat in the first round?
He might come off the bench he came off the bench for Golden State in that playoffs. During the Kings series, but I don't know if Draymond Green's starting spot especially is solidified in that Warriors lineup either. I think that there's a lot of questions about whether that quote unquote death lineup of Chris Paul, Steph, Clay, Wiggins, and Draymond really works. I think that there's potential for Draymond to maybe come off the bench next year in Golden State too. So I don't know. It could. He probably doesn't want to hear it from Sacramento. It'll probably be easier hearing it from Golden State. But I just wonder if that helps the fit or helps people with the perception.
I'll tell you what. We'll take this up with the great Jerry Reynolds.
Let's do it. How about that?
Yeah, Jerry joins us next. Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. The Gold Rush Classic is a celebrity pro-am golf tournament, a $1 million hole-in-one contest, a skins game, a celebrity draft party, and a concert featuring the Atlanta Rhythm Section. The Gold Rush Classic raises money for Make-A-Wish, Jordan's Guardian Angels, First Tee of Sacramento, Rancho Murrieta Youth Sports, and other worthwhile children's charities. The Gold Rush Classic takes place July 13th and 14th in Rancho Murrieta. Come join the fun, raise money for charity, and play golf with a celebrity like Barnes, Fernandez, Jackson, Lloyd, Merriweather, Ostertag, Polynice, Sharp, Schumann, and our own Greg Vaughn. Golf and concert sponsorships are still available at goldrushclassic.org. The Gold Rush Classic, where the stars and guitars shine. The Gold Rush Classic is sponsored by Adrian Blanco Jewelry, your family jeweler in Folsom. Voted Style Magazine Reader's Choice Best Local Business 3 years in a row.
Oh, God, he's back.
Who's back?
The clown.
The naked one?
Yes, Giggles. He just drove on the lot in a new Kia.
Does he want to trade it in?
No, he wants to show it off.
Isn't he showing off enough? Oh, here he comes.
See what Elk Grove Kia did for me? That's service. That's why they got my business, not you.
Yeah, I think we've already seen too much of your business. Thank you.
Elk Grove Kia. Great service for everyone.
Elk Grove Kia has never made it easier for you to show it off. Like the hottest all-electric EV in the market, the luxurious EV6. Save big with lease specials of $10,000 below MSRP. Not just one or two, but every EV6 in stock. Don't worry about credit. No credit, bad credit, charge-offs, repos. Don't worry. Our team has over 100 years of experience. Others say no. Elk Grove Kia says yes. Get your EV6 today at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or elkgrovekia.com and show it off today.
Elk Grove Kia.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical bull, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Attic Man Heating and Air Conditioning, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
Since 1776, July 4th has been celebrated as the birth of American independence, but it's been a federal holiday only since 1941. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. It was a mere 7 years later when the Keys family opened their first Naturewood store in Sacramento. And I guess Northern Californians have been celebrating ever since. We celebrate an incredible selection of furniture brands made right here in America. We celebrate the kind of generous hometown hospitality that was important to Walter Keys in 1948 and continues with the Keys family and the Naturewood Home Furnishing staff today. And we celebrate the kind of quality that's been synonymous with Naturewood for all these 74 years. Look for made-in-America brands like Stanton, Sam Moore, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and more during the Naturewood 4th of July sale event. Find the furniture that you will celebrate for years to come. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Did you know that money market accounts offer higher dividends than a traditional savings account, all while still being able to access your money at any time? Hey, Jason Ross here, and I want to tell you to step up your earning power with a Level Up money market savings account at Safe Credit Union. With competitive dividend rates, you can take your savings to the next level. Visit safecu.org/levelup for more information and to open up an account today. Insured by NCUA.
Greetings from M&S Auto on El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. And a big thanks to our repeat customers for letting us be your favorite car dealer. Repeat customers make us proud. M&S customers know that they're going to find the car, 4x4, or SUV they want. They'll get treated like family and save thousands. Whether you're a repeat customer or a first-time buyer, welcome. M&S Auto, the intelligent car buying experience. MSAutogroup.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings made a big splash with their first-round pick in the NBA draft.
Sacramento is trading center Richuan Holmes and the 24th pick to Dallas.
With the trade of Richuan Holmes, the Sacramento Kings now have almost $45 million available, with $31 million in cap space and access to the full $12.5 million mid-level exception. Sacramento traded up to pick number 34 to select Xavier guard Colby Jones in the second round and selected Furman's Jalen Slauson with the 54th pick. Head to SactownSports.com for breakdowns on all of those players and some undrafted free agent news. Those are your headlines. Now it's time for Hour 4 of Chris and Company with Whitey, Gleason, Chris Watkins, and Jerry Reynolds joining the program.
Who better to talk to the day after the Kings draft than our next guest, former Kings coach, former Kings broadcaster, former Kings general manager, former Kings player personnel director, and all-time Kings icon. Would you agree, Chris?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. The one and only Jerry Reynolds. How are you today, Jerry?
It's feeling pretty good. I was out walking, listening to you guys. Basically enjoyed the program. I had a couple of spots where you I guess, I couldn't get the reception. I kind of assumed God didn't want me to hear some of the stuff you were saying.
I think I know what parts that was.
I think so, too.
Yeah, we've been talking about, because Brian Windhorst brought it up on TV, the possibility of the Kings maybe making a run at Draymond Green. Jerry, what do you think of that in general, the Kings making a run at Draymond Green?
Well, I'd make a really short run, but I mean, he's a player that could help him. There's no doubt. But I think kind of your thoughts are, both you guys' thoughts are kind of on track there. That I think for what you'd have to pay him and the role you'd need him to play, I don't think he'd be happy with either. Or what you in my mind, what they should pay. I think he's a guy that had a terrific career, but I think the best is past, and I think this team is probably on a 3 to 5 year timeline, and I don't think he'd fit that.
Jerry, I'm curious. We had the Kings obviously freed up a ton of cap space in last night's draft when they moved Richuan as well as the number 24 pick, and that frees them up to really have a lot of options with what to do with free agency. And we had one of our listeners pose us a really good question, and I'm curious where you fall on this. Would you rather have the Kings use that cap space up on a single guy like a Kyle Kuzma or like a Jeremy Grant and go out and get that true Harrison Barnes upgrade, quote unquote, if you think that way, or would you rather see them use that money to really just kind of fill out the roster with multiple role guys?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, it probably would depend on the person you could get
right
with that. In my mind, Jeremy Grant wouldn't be the guy. If it's Pascal Siakam, he would be. That type thing. I mean, so because I think the one piece could really make a difference. I don't see. I'm not sure about Kuzma or personally or Grant as being, they're upgrades, but how big?
Yeah.
Right. And so there's that. So otherwise, to me, if you could get two players, if you could get somebody like a Bruce Brown and maybe a Naz Reid, I think your team is just significantly better, at least positioned playoff wise.
Yeah, the great Jerry Reynolds with us. Jerry, is free agency maybe the way to go now, because getting a good player in a trade, like we've been talking about Siakam, but if you go out and trade now for a really established star player, you have to give up so many number ones. That's kind of the price that's been established, that I think where the Kings are right now, free agency probably makes more sense, doesn't it?
I think it does, and I think that's what it appears Monty McNair is really working towards. I thought the move, was pretty darn smart. You created cap room plus the ability to sign a guy, at the $12 million exception. So a lot of quality free agents are going to be available for that, younger ones, and so probably role players. But the Kings are our team, that needs, in my mind, the Bruce Brown types, the Josh Hart type guys that just simply are ballers, you know, that you can plug them in several places, and then of course getting the big, and then you know it could be, and I can't speak for money, but I think it does give him the chance, you know, to keep, if he could keep Harrison at a reasonable price and still go get another guy, you know. So I like what they've done. I mean, they're not done, but I think I like the direction they're going. If you know, now if they start the season with basically exactly what they got, then I'm probably not going to be a happy camper.
Definitely not. I think there's going to be a lot of people out there who won't be happy campers if that's the case. You mentioned the Kings needing to bring in guys like Josh Hart and you know, like Bruce Brown, and it seems like those are two almost direct comps for guys that the Kings got last night in Jalen Slauson and also in Colby Jones. I'm just curious what you think about the Kings going with those 2 second-round picks, 2 guys who seem to be more defensive minded, and also me and Whitey were talking about clearly they both have a propensity to play make as well. What do you think about the 2 guys that the Kings brought in last night?
Well, I'll tell you, Colby Jones, I've actually watched a little bit. Shows you what kind of life I have.
A lot of Xavier tape.
But I like him. You know, he reminds me, and of course, you know, being around forever, I remember Malcolm Brogdon at Virginia.
Right.
And you know, he reminds me a lot of Malcolm Brogdon. And one of the reasons Brogdon slipped to the second round, people said, well, he's really good. He's solid in every phase, except he really just, the athleticism just is okay. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was undervalued because of that. And I think this kid's got a lot of the same thing. You know, he's got a real game, and he's tough. Probably not going to knock you over with his athleticism, but you know, he's got enough. I think. I think they've got a guy that in Colby that will find a way to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you got second round.
Now Slauson, I couldn't pick out of the lineup.
Right.
You know, so.
It's okay. We don't blame you. He's picked number 54, so that's
Furman.
Pretty deep.
Yeah, no, he
Furman
may
as well.
he may become. Yeah, I mean, I've never been a real fan of the Furman Paladins. So
everybody knows they're the Paladins except me.
I know.
Jerry, what do you think of Chris Paul and his potential fit with your beloved Warriors?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, he could help him because the guy still's got a game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now can he stay healthy? Well, we probably have to guess no, since he doesn't. But I mean, he's a true playmaker and leader, and I hate the thought of him helping him, but I think he, you know, the real issue I think is Chris is at his best when he's kind of controlling the game in more of a half court game. Now, having said that, I think when you got a Curry and Klay Thompson, they could be the beneficiaries of that. You know, they may need to play a little slower over there.
Yeah,
you know, a little more of a half court game. So, you know, I think between Steve Kerr and Curry and Chris Paul and Klay, they'll figure it out. I just think that when you just get down to it, would you rather have starting next year Chris Paul or Jordan Poole? Well, I'd rather have Chris Paul.
I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
no, I completely agree with you too. Going back to the draft real quick, Jerry, I'm just curious if there's any guys besides Victor Wembanyama, and you know, we'll just take out the top 3 guys. Was there anybody in the draft that you were really keen on, or any fits that you really liked from yesterday?
Yeah, Jordan Hawkins, a Connecticut kid.
Okay.
I really liked him. You know, I just thought, geez, this guy with what his body of work and what he can do, I think should have been drafted a lot higher. I'll be surprised if he doesn't really shock some people. Looks like a kind of a little lower version of Ray Allen, and that's a pretty good spot to be. I mean, a big time shooter, and I liked. Actually, I like the guy that Dallas took with the Kings pick.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Max. I was like, ooh, he's a tough buckaroo, boy. I mean, and so I liked him. I didn't know where he'd go, and the risk pick that I think you guys were talking about, Derek Whitehead. I mean, there's he's really intriguing. He was so good as a high school player, playing on a really elite team. You just think, boy, if he hadn't been healthy, but he might have a chance to start him, I think.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. JR, have a great weekend. We appreciate it. I know there are rumors of the old-fashioned three reuniting here shortly.
Wow.
Hopefully, I'm hoping to get a chance to pod with you again soon. Thanks.
Is Phantom still alive?
I don't know. I think we've done some where he wasn't. So that's tough to say. But
well, hey, one last thing. Got to tell Chris. Now, on the pickleball.
Oh, yeah.
I get it because I'm a long-time tennis player.
Yes.
But, I all your arguments probably, as an old person, I can remember people talking about when slow pitch took over fast pitch softball.
I can see that, yeah.
And then, of course, I can really go back to when just softball started being played more than baseball.
Right, yeah.
Wow.
So, I don't want to bust your bubble, but I think you're fighting a losing battle, buddy.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm going to fight that battle till the day I'm gone. So
I don't blame you. Fight right to the end.
I will. Us tennis players got to stay strong, man. We got to stay united.
Yes. There's not a lot left.
No, there's not.
Thanks, Jerry. Yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Jerry.
Take care. Well, he's spot on with what he said
about the pickleball
Jones.
stuff.
Yeah, but also about Colby Jones when he says reminds me of Brogdon, which is all the scouts say the same thing.
Absolutely. I mean, it's Jerry. Jerry could probably still run a front office today. I'd give him the keys. Would you give Jerry the keys?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah,
You're with him more than anybody. So.
Yeah. Coming up next, what word would you use to describe the Kings 2023 draft day? Huh?
I'll have to think about it.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I'll give you a little time here, but it's coming up next. Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Thinking that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Hey, what's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. It's Jeep season. I keep hearing about the new Jeep Wrangler 4xE. Chad, do you have any deals this month?
Right now, you can lease a new 2023 Jeep Wrangler Sahara 4xE for only $379 a month for 36 months with $49.95 due at signing. That's a savings of up to $13,500, or you can save up to $92.50 off MSRP, plus get $37.50 in federal tax credits for a total savings of over $13,000.
Whether I lease or buy the new 2023 Jeep Wrangler Sahara 4xE, I can save up to $13,000 or more.
Yeah, and now the only decision is which one you want, because we have a great selection of Wrangler 4xEs with over 50 available.
Find your perfect vehicle now when you search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com.
$13,500 in total net savings after $11,000 factory rebates and $2,500 dealer discount. Rebates include $7,500 federal tax credit, $3,000 carb rebate, and $500 California bonus cash. Must be California resident qualified. 36 monthly term, $49.95 cash due at signing, plus tax, license, and accessories on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. 25 cents per mile charge of over 10,000 miles per year. $92.50 total net savings after $57.50 factory rebates and $4,000 dealer discount, plus optional $37.50 tax credit may apply for buyers who meet current federal tax standards only. Subject to change. See your CPA for qualifications. For California residents only, 5H net savings. See dealer for details.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris's Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
How long would you say that pizza's been around?
At this
point,
we're
enjoying some of that. I hope that's not the same pizza.
It's the same pizza, but she took it home before.
And refrigerated it.
Oh, okay. Thank goodness.
Yeah, I was concerned
because there was
about
some
it.
pizza that's been sitting in there for
we're
a long time.
We're pushing on, what is this?
Hour
God,
18
I'm so
right
bad at
now.
math. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate that. Happy
98th,
birthday, Kyle.
98th percentile in math.
Thank you. Really?
That's how I got into a good college. 98th percentile in math on the SAT.
Well,
Okay, flex.
Yeah.
Good, because I trashed.
Yeah, no, we got it around the first hour of our draft show yesterday, so
Yeah.
I think about 18, something
Thank
like
you,
that.
Simone, by the way, for picking up the pizzas yesterday. There was a whole pizza fiasco at Costco.
Pizza fiasco. People were so upset.
Costco pizza, man. Like, I guess everyone was having draft parties yesterday or something.
Yeah, sure.
There was apparently a big hubbub at Costco trying to get those pizzas over here.
I was happy to be of service.
Oh no,
provide the pizza.
we appreciated it, and we're apparently still appreciating.
J Mars was this morning. He was going to town on some day old pizza.
I really do think as a society we need to refrigerate pizza. You can't just have it out all day and night, right?
What about cold pizza? Just right out of the fridge.
I'm eating cold pizza.
Okay, yes.
It's delicious.
Yes.
And I do have a trick. If you ever want to reheat pizza, you do need to put it in a pan and have a little bit of water in it.
Yeah.
And it steams it. Don't put it in the microwave. That's amateur.
Put it in the air fryer. That
makes it really crispy, which is, if that's what you're going for. But if you want the cheese to be melty as well, you got to do it the pan fry way. Try it out.
All right.
Let me know.
I will.
Thanks for the tip.
Would recommend the air fryer also. It's really good. But you just gotta
air fryer.
You just gotta set it to a very little amount of time.
Or else you'll just toast everything on top.
Before we get any further, I want to make sure we don't forget this. We're getting so many messages about it. When are you going to play Grady Dick as Donald Duck? So and we'll get back to the Kings in the draft. But first, Grady Dick wore the beautiful, let's see, the Dorothy-themed red ruby sequin jacket yesterday. Here he is as Donald Duck.
What's up? I'm Grady Dick.
That's Grady.
And I'm going to Toronto.
Well, he's going to Toronto.
I don't know if he said, "What's up? I'm Donald Duck," or "What's up? I'm Grady Dick. I'm going to Toronto." I couldn't really tell, but yeah, it's tough.
Hidden talent.
Difficult to enunciate as Donald Duck.
Let's try it one more time and see.
Yeah.
What's up? I'm Grady Dick.
Grady Dick. I think.
No, I heard Donald Duck.
And I'm going to Toronto.
Well, definitely can hear that he's going to Toronto. That's all that I'm able to parcel out of that.
Right.
Hidden talent.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm out. On Grady Dick. Just bad decision maker. Just clearly spends his free time not playing basketball. I'm out. Also saw an alarming amount of Grady Dick TikToks yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, gave big Juju Smith-Schuster vibes. I'm out. Out
Why?
on Grady
Because
Dick.
he does TikTok?
Yes, he doesn't love basketball. You can't have other hobbies outside of playing the game you play.
Chris.
I'm joking. But no, seriously though, bad decision maker. That sequin suit was terrible.
I like the whole concept of it.
Yeah, back to Kansas and a little homage.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, not big. This is also proving Wizard of Oz, right?
Yes.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken,
1939.
Dorothy does not wear a red dress. If I'm not mistaken, doesn't Dorothy?
She's
got red. Sure.
Yeah,
and he had the red bottoms on.
Yeah,
that's good enough. I think it was a stretch to. I think someone said, like, jokingly, it sounds like a dad joke. Honestly, I bet his dad told him, like, "Hey, like Kansas, you look like Dorothy, son," and then he just ran with it. I just don't believe that. Don't believe that Grady Dick really was inspired by Dorothy and
made a lot of
planned his
sense.
whole outfit.
If they backfilled the whole thing, that was a good job. He's not in Kansas anymore.
What's up? I'm Grady Dick.
That's Donald Duck. I think
he says Donald Duck.
I think he says Donald Duck.
I'm going to Toronto.
That's really good. That's better than Grady Dick.
That's not.
You
that
can play
good.
for the Raptors.
Try that again, Whitey, and then
no, we're good.
And I'm going to Toronto. I'm going to Toronto.
I like yours better.
What's your one word you'd use to describe yesterday, the Kings draft?
You can
use if you got it. You can use up to 5, but we prefer like one word.
One word to describe the Kings draft yesterday.
I will give you mine first. Give you a little more time to think about. Intriguing, just because initially it was a little disappointing, like, but then you think, ooh, okay, playing the long game here, playing chess and not checkers, and we can't evaluate it yet because we have to see what happens, of course. But ooh, I see. We're thinking ahead. Right. There were times when, in my opinion, certain general managers who ran the show here didn't necessarily excel in that department.
Yeah, to put it,
is that fair to say?
I would say so. Yeah.
So to see that, it's inspiring and it's just intriguing.
Yeah,
now you have options And again, crucial decisions to make here.
How about I'll just use that word that you just used there. How about optionality? Because that's really what the Kings gave themselves is with freeing up the
What
cap
did you
space.
score on your verbal? Is optionality a word, Kyle?
Optionality is a word.
Boom.
Flexibility is the word that Monty McNair used when we heard it earlier.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I like it. I was going to say illusionary, but I was trying to I just liked the word and was trying to make it fit. So I'll go optionality because the Kings now have tons of things that they can do with that $38 million in cap space now. Also with the two guys that they actually did take, there's a lot of optionality in terms of positional versatility and the fact that it seems like Colby Jones is a guy who can maybe steal some minutes at a backup playmaker, backup one. Definitely seems most comfortable as the 2, but maybe could slide up and play the 3, as you mentioned, his standing reach. And also 8'7". How about that? Jalen Slauson is a 6'7", just kind of a bigger version of Colby Jones, not necessarily the shooter.
I don't think we're going to see Slauson, and I hope I'm wrong, and I mean nothing against him.
I'd be surprised
from what I've read. Yeah.
I'd be surprised if we see him in the NFL. And I would be
very
surprised if we see him in the NFL. I'd be surprised if we see him.
You know what though? You know how
extended minutes.
We know that Coach Brown likes some of those guys that are just like that's all they do is defend.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
He's got a soft spot for those guys. We've seen that.
Kessler Edwards.
Yeah.
Well, not even him so much.
Paula.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I could see how
Starter.
maybe this guy really, if Slauson is that good of a help defender, where maybe he slides himself, works his way into one of those roles.
Yeah.
I hope not, but it's not hard to imagine.
I don't have a problem with these guys getting minutes because I think, that's to me, that's a good sign. I think that's showing value in your picks. And if you don't have to pay for a guy who's going to be part of the rotation, I think that's a positive. Frankly, I wouldn't be upset if Colby just mixed them up. If Jalen Slauson ends up getting minutes, I would be surprised, but I think if anything, that's a positive for the Kings. I would absolutely take that. But yeah, it's the way that they set themselves up yesterday definitely leaves a lot of different options out there for them to kind of take any route that they want to go.
Where do you see in general the Kings fitting now in the West? We don't know yet.
Sure.
Because they still have a lot of moves to make. Everybody does. And the season is still months away.
Right.
But as I mentioned earlier, I think Dallas helped themselves.
Absolutely.
In a kind of a surprising way. Houston, wow, they added some nice players.
Yeah.
San Antonio is a guy, I don't know, some say maybe the greatest player of all time. And I think generally guys like that help you.
How about OKC? I think OKC got better yesterday.
They're scared. They were already scared.
Very, very scared.
Yeah.
I really like their backcourt now. Got brought over Cason Wallace over there from Kentucky. He's going to be a great backup to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's just they just keep they can run out. Cason Wallace and Lou Dort backcourt is an absolute nightmare for opposing teams. And that's their backups. Like that's a low end starter quality guys that they're getting right there. I think that there's a lot of teams in the West who did them a lot of favors yesterday. It's the Kings, they've got to make so they cannot be done. Like again, they're not one piece away from,
as you pointed out, they have like 6 guys right now.
Yeah,
so.
they need to fill some guys out.
I mean, you only need 5, but you do want to. Guys are going to get tired.
Yeah, they will get pretty beat.
6 players.
I think you have to field at least 12 people or 14. Yeah. So they have a lot of roster filling out still to do. And to me, they need to use this cap space to fill that out. I just don't want to see them throw it all on one guy. Like, I just don't think that one guy is out there that's worth it.
What's your guess for the most improved team in the West this year from last year?
San Antonio, OKC, or Houston?
I'd say Houston.
Yeah. One of those 3.
And I'm not crazy Houston, about their coach. And I know that, Jalen Green is talented, but we're not sure he's really a basketball player. But they got a point guard yesterday, so they don't have to rely on Kevin Porter Jr. as much.
I think I would go Houston just also for the fact it might not even be like record-wise the biggest jump, but they're going from pretty much being a glorified AAU team to I think next year they're actually going to play basketball. So to me, I'll say Houston is probably going to be the biggest biggest improvement from next year, just with the Ime situation, or I guess I shouldn't say the Ime situation. That means a completely different thing in today's world. So with Ime Udoka now coaching them, but also just with, everyone being a year older, but also bringing in some really good rookies, I could see Houston taking becoming a real competent team next year.
Yep. So it just, again, underscores how important this offseason is
Absolutely.
for the Kings. Coming up, I don't think you're going to like this.
Oh, boy.
Found a list. Somebody made a list of the NBA's most memorable moments from last season.
Okay.
Light the Beam was second. How could that be? The answer is next. Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
What's up? I'm not again. And I'm going to Toronto.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Friday forecast looking mainly sunny with light southwest winds. We'll have afternoon temperatures in the upper 70s to about 80 degrees with overnight lows in the mid 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we would buy from ourselves. See our selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner. Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines, such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com. or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hey, it's Nick Cattle suggesting you celebrate your 4th of July the right way with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Our Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned us into pros. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. Built different, built better, and built to last. All made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just go to Napoleon.com for your nearby Napoleon Grills dealer. Napoleon Grills, now is the time for the best selection of grills and fine accessories. Now is the time to take care of your 4th of July.
Prestige line comes with a lifetime warranty.
You've heard all of his greatest hits. And now's your chance to see Grammy-nominated multi-platinum singer-songwriter Gavin DeGraw live at Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville. Get your tickets now to see Gavin DeGraw Friday, June 23rd at 8 p.m. Only at Gold Country Casino Resort. Must be 21 or older.
Hello, I'm Frank Cobb with the Retirement Security Center for the weekly economic update. Well, at least he is consistent. Fed Chair Jerome Powell spoke with Congress this week and stated that 2 more rate hikes would be a good guess, implying an additional 0.5% possible increases if necessary. The Fed has been consistent with inflation being public enemy #1. Many investors look to the 10-year Treasury as a gauge of future inflation expectations. The 10-year Treasury is still lower than shorter-term issues, leading some investors to continue their appetite for riskier investments. Artificial intelligence is all the rage this year, as seen with the technology resurgence. The U.S. government has taken notice, wading into regulation of AI, citing the need for AI to uphold democratic values and understanding why specific outputs are created. Regulating a continually evolving technology could prove to be difficult due to its inherent complexity. The question of whether it should have been created has come up, and the answer is likely profit. At least Wall Street is consistent. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch video, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer and member SIPC and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
Thunder, feel the thunder. It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
It's Thunder Valley's $20,000 20th anniversary cash giveaway. 5 winners on Friday and Saturday nights in June. One very lucky guest wins $20,000 guaranteed. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Selling your home can be stressful. Scott Marsh here to tell you about Bridgehaven Homes. They are a local home buying company that offers homeowners an easier way to sell their home. Let Shane and his team at bridgehavenhomes.com take that stress away. Bridgehaven Homes gives you an all-cash offer for your home, no matter what the condition, within 24 hours. You pick the date you wish to close and sell on your terms. No repairs, no showings, and no realtor commissions. Call 916-299-6040 or bridgehavenhomes.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings made a splash with the 24th pick in the NBA draft.
Sacramento is trading center Richuan Holmes and the 24th pick to Dallas.
Richuan Holmes has been traded, and with the trade, the Kings now have almost $45 million available in free agency, with $31 million available in cap space and access to the full $12.5 million mid-level exception. Sacramento traded up to pick 34 to select Xavier guard Colby Jones and selected Furman's Jalen Slauson with the 54th pick. You can check out SactownSports.com, where Frankie Cardicelli and Joe Giroux are hard at work giving you breakdowns on all of the Kings draft picks and free agent signings for the Summer League. Those are your headlines. It's time for the final half hour of the show with Whitey, Gleason, and Chris Watkins on a Friday. It's Chris and Company.
Before we get back to the NBA draft and the NBA in general, did you happen to see what Rob Manfred said? He tried to walk back his comments about A's fans, and he did a really poor job of it. He tried to say that what he said, he didn't really say.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it. I haven't heard it from his mouth, but the quotes themselves are very Manfred-esque, where he's just lying because it's what he does. He's a bona fide liar, and just more lies being spouted by the baseball commissioner.
He's across the pond in London because they've got the Cardinals and the Cubs going to play there.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's over there, so the media's talking to him. Here, of course, is what he said last week after the reverse boycott. I feel sorry for the fans in Oakland. I do not like the outcome. And you may remember he also said, well, we had, one night?
Yeah, he pretty much was just dismissive of the crowd. He was
That's
like,
great. We had an average Major League crowd for one night. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it's great. Kind of a little
cute.
sarcastic,
It's
too.
pretty cute.
Yeah. So speaking in advance of the Cubs-Cardinals game in London, he said, my comment about Oakland was that I feel sorry for the fans, that it was my initial preference that we find a solution in Oakland.
Lie.
The comment I made about the fans on a particular night was taken out of context.
Lie.
Of the two larger remarks. I feel sorry for the fans. We hate to move. We did everything we could possibly do to keep the club in Oakland.
Those are three
and
lies.
Unfortunately, one night doesn't change a decade of inaction.
That's the only thing that he said. Well, actually, there's still a lie in there as well. A decade worth of inaction, like they just haven't been trying to build at Howard Terminal for the past 5, 6, 7
So a lot
years.
of A's fans are wondering, did anyone follow up and ask him about the fact that the mayor of Oakland says, we had a plan.
Yeah. Said they were 2 days away from completion of that plan.
Uh-huh.
And
yeah.
I mean, just again, full of like everything that he just said is very, very traceable and very clearly just not true. And I don't know why he continues to do this and act like we don't have access to information.
So that insulting jab he had that, oh, well, that's great. One night they have an average Major League crowd. He's trying to say now that, no, I didn't say that because before I said that, I said I felt bad for the fans of Oakland.
Yeah.
Which that doesn't mean it was out of context.
No, it doesn't.
That's not what that means.
Wasn't out of context at all. It was fully in context. And it's just
the customer
shut up.
is always right.
Yes,
he has to realize
Rob,
that.
Exactly.
And A's fans are still your customers.
Still
At
your
least
customers.
they were.
Yeah,
I don't know if they still
anymore.
will be.
Yeah. It's over. No, I mean, this is at this point, it's just like Rob Manfred, you might as well just lean into it because I mean, at this point you're taking the team away from them anyway. Instead of lying to everybody and just ruining, I mean, I don't know if you can ruin your reputation any more than you already have, but instead of just doing that, just lean into it, be a heel, just say like, yeah, honestly, Vegas is it's such a great opportunity. Like, well, it's cute what they do over there in Oakland, but we're trying to build the new era of baseball in Vegas. And that's where the future, like, just lean into it, dude. Like, stop, shut up again. Just shut up.
Just so tone deaf that he doesn't realize what he says about oh, that's great. One night they had an average major league crowd. How insulting that would be to these fans.
Right.
It's like you have to be really oblivious to say that in the first place.
Yeah, it's almost
you can
like
lie about it later or whatever, say it's out of context. Okay, but how do you say that in the first place? You don't understand what's going on here.
We're talking about the same guy who called the championship trophy a
World
hunk
Series
of metal.
trophy.
Did he call it a hunk of metal?
I believe it was a hunk. It's just a hunk of
It's
metal.
just a hunk of metal.
And I
don't
think
know
he
why
also
people
said
care.
this week, my decision to grant immunity to the Astros players, I think he said that wasn't my best decision.
No, he did not.
I thought he did. I thought I saw that somewhere. It was something we were going to talk about, but we didn't get
disgusting.
to. Yeah.
Is he the worst commissioner in sports right now?
Yes.
At least lowest approval rating, right? Like,
yeah, he has to be because he's made so many of these stupid
just
mistakes.
dumb. Like, what's one good thing that Rob Manfred has done? Anybody? Kyle, anything?
Well, I mean, he helped them get through the strike. I guess he deserves some credit for that.
Didn't he get crushed for like smiling up on stage when they announced the strike, though, too?
Yes, he did.
Or the
I forgot
lockout,
about that.
right?
Yeah, that's for the lockout. Yeah.
By the way, the quote from Manfred, quote, and this is real, I'm not sure that I would have approached it with giving players immunity. Once we gave players immunity, it puts you in a box as to what exactly you were going to do in terms of punishment. I might have gone about the investigative process without that grant of immunity and see where it takes us.
Yeah, so that's what he said this week about it.
It's almost like everyone said that, right? It's almost like the players knew they were cheating as well, and that was the whole.
Anyway,
yeah, I was like, we could go. We can start over the show if you want.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Commissioner.
Thanks, appreciate it, Rob.
Meanwhile, I saw this from the site Basketball Poetry. Michael Shearer.
Is that like NBAanalysis.net?
No, because it doesn't pretend to be anything more than what it is.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right?
That's
Like,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Poems
We're
about
just a blog
basketball,
site.
okay?
Yeah.
He put together, and this, I don't believe he wrote poems here, but top 5 moments of the just completed NBA
Oh, I was
season.
hoping for a poem.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I mean, I could probably come up with something for you, but I'll
Sure.
spare you.
Nah.
Number 5, kind of an odd choice, but okay. Lauri Markkanen and the Surprising Jazz.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Kind of a nice story.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jazz were literally supposed to be in the Wemby race, and they ended up being competitive all year long. And that was, I mean, it was a huge surprise. And Lauri Markkanen also probably did the best career resurrection that I feel like I've seen in a really long time. Like, that guy was pretty much forgotten of and was kind of classified, not as a bust, but pretty much no one was having Lauri Markkanen conversations, and averaged 25 points a game last year.
Everything bad that you think of a guy. Is Finland in Europe? I guess it is.
Can't answer that one.
But anyway, that you think of as a Euro, it's like that's kind of what he was.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was.
And
Yeah.
he just
very
broke
soft,
that
big guy who can
perception.
really only shoot. And
But
then
Danny Ainge knows what he's doing when he does against players.
Oh my! Not only players, but bringing in Will Hardy as well. Like, I mean, just to poach Will Hardy off of that Celtics bench, I think they could have used him last year.
So number 5, Lauri Markkanen and the Surprising Jazz. Number 4, great dunks all year, and he ran down a number of them. But there were some incredible. Dunks
there's great dunks every year.
Number 3, Basketball Poetry's top moments of the season. Grant Williams versus the Cavs in March, tie game, 0.8 left at the line when he says, I'm going to make both. And he misses both. And then Grant Williams called himself out on Twitter over it.
Yeah, that's an all-timer.
Yeah.
That is like, that belongs in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, when somebody on Twitter asked, what's the most not him moment you've ever seen? And Grant Williams said, Grant Williams tweeted, I'm going to make them both.
Yeah,
I don't know how that and Light the Beam are in the same category for this game, but at the same time,
it works. It works.
Because if we're doing that game, I think there's a moment that tops even that one, which was Patrick Beverly showing the camera to the
didn't
official.
Make the list. You're right.
Didn't make the
list.
Yeah,
Number 2
is
is Light the Beam.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Beam took the world by storm this year, and it's going to be something that, as much as people might not like it, it's going to be something that continues for a very, very long time.
Yes.
And, this will we're forever going to look back at this year as the year that the Beam started and they broke the drought. It's all going to be the same, and we'll remember it all as one encapsulated.
And it was great not only for Sacramento and the Kings, for the entire NBA.
Yes,
all
absolutely.
the NBA embraced it and talked about it. Why? Because it was so great.
Yep. And again, people are going to try and steal or get their own versions of this as well. So I think that this is a really cool innovation piece that the Kings have just brought to. I don't even think it's just going to be basketball. I could see football. And I know the Kings also took it from teams like, the Cubs and the Halo in Los Angeles. But I think more teams are going to see the success of this and try and do their own version of it.
So how could that not be number one on Basketball Poetry's list? Basketball Poetry, there's no rhyme, no reason.
These are biggest surprises?
Just the best moments.
The best moments.
Number one, in his last home game with the Miami Heat regular season, Udonis Haslem became the oldest player to score 20 or more points in a game. That's number one. Number one on the list, the Udonis Haslem.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that happened. He scored 20 points in a game this year?
Apparently in his last home game.
There's no way.
Yeah. Apparently he was like, give me the ball, give me the ball.
There is no way.
I knew when I saw Udonis Haslem game, I was thinking of the finals.
The finals,
where he
the
got
oldest guy, right.
The oldest guy to play in the finals. But yeah, Basketball Poetry says his last home game, there's like, all right, it's kind of like senior night in high school.
Exactly. Yeah. Except this time it's senior citizen night.
And he tossed in 24.
There's no way. I'm gonna do the research on this myself here because I do not believe
Basketball
that.
Reference, look up his game logs.
That's exactly
I guess.
what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And wow, this guy got a lot of DNPs. There it is, against the Orlando Magic in a 13-point win. Udonis Haslem, 24 minutes, 24 points, 9 of 17 from the field. Get this, this is incredible. Udonis Haslem was 3 of 7 from 3 in that game. I cannot believe it.
How many minutes?
In 24 minutes.
Wow.
17 shots, 7 from 3.
Pass
Also
the
got
ball,
to the
Colby.
line 3 times. Who did Orlando put out for this game? I mean, that's a low point for my season. If the Kings let Udonis Haslem score 24 points on them, that would definitely be something that I would talk about.
No, there was a
all
viral
season
clip
long.
where the Magic players were looking at when UD came in, they were looking at the Heat bench and they were like asking them, "Do you want us to let him score?" Like they were trying to gauge the vibe.
Yeah.
From the Heat
So
bench.
you think someone
in this
should
game?
touch him up, huh? Not hurt him, just touch him up. Is that where we're going, Chris? Touch him up.
You just can't allow it to happen. I mean, I guess if that's what it takes, but it shouldn't take a lot to prevent Udonis Haslem from
if
scoring.
the Orlando players were part of it, SOFT, soft.
I would go SAWFT, soft.
Yes.
If that's the case. And I'm looking at them. I mean, the main guys didn't play a ton. Franz played 15. Suggs played 15. Wendell Carter played 15 minutes.
Haslem.
But even then, it's like, come on,
Number
man.
one moment of the season.
Cannot allow a 42-year-old man to score 24 points.
I'm
in
never
a game.
going on basketballpoetry.com.
No, that's
Not
ridiculous.
going
How
there.
is that the number one thing
It
that you're
should
going to
be.
remind?
It's an
remember
insult.
from
It's
this season?
wrong.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Coming up next, Rami's going to join us for the crossover, and we'll see what he thinks of what we say is the worst sports GM quote of all time. We've got the
pretty
sound
bad.
on that, and Rami next. Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Apparently, there is a cage match brewing between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. Now, I hope this happens for many reasons. Number one, it just goes with the downfall of our society. Number two, nothing more fun than seeing super ultra mega billionaires just beat the hell out of each other. Number three, it would obviously be a terrible, terrible, terrible fight.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton & Price in your corner. When you call Ashton & Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton
and price.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
If you want to hit the golf ball farther and straighter, the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio offers you the opportunity to experience the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA Tour professionals. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is an indoor facility that opens onto the driving range so you can see your all-important ball flight. With the advantages of cutting-edge technology and analyzing your ball flight, the Hagen Oaks professional staff will make you a better player. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway, or call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives. At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we would buy from ourselves. At Elk Grove Honda, we include many benefits that a private seller just can't match. Our Honda-trained technicians only certify our Hondas if they pass a thorough 182-point inspection, and our certified pre-owned Hondas are under 5 years old. So you know you're getting the newest Hondas in prime condition. See our exceptional selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com. New flooring instantly updates a room. RC Willey has an incredible selection of carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate. Their experts will help you find the perfect floor for your home and schedule a free in-home measure. Shop RC Willey in Elk Grove or Rockland today.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
This is a little embarrassing. We've kind of been dogging pickleball a little bit. And as Rami joins us here for the crossover, turns out you're a big pickleball guy.
Huge pickleball guy.
Pickle guy.
Love a good game of pickleball, man. Oh, buddy.
You subscribe to
the league pass.
Yeah.
As you know, Whitey, the pickle pass is what it's called. Yeah.
He subscribes to the pickle pass.
Got to subscribe to the pickle pass. For sure.
So good.
Yeah. Well, I apologize for what Chris had to say.
You guys were very, very condescending about what is a great sport played by great athletes.
It's an activity. I don't know if it's a
game.
How dare you,
a sport played by great athletes and Tom Brady.
How dare you?
Yeah, it's a game. It's a night. Looks like a fun game sometimes.
It's an outing.
Yeah.
Oh, sport?
You guys know, I just drove to Southern California and back, and so many pickleball courts between just everywhere. LA, San Diego, every little town in between.
There's actual dedicated courts?
Dude, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Like in the
I'm
parks,
glad that they're trying to solve the problem.
Like in the parks, where we used to have, I don't know,
Tennis
basketball courts,
yeah.
tennis courts. They're like packed with pickleball courts.
I must be too far removed from San Diego because when I was growing up there were not
I'm telling
pickleball
you,
courts.
Kyle, I saw a bunch of
It's a movement.
when you're driving around, driving
Totally
around
fair.
town,
It's
on
very
interstate
recent.
or whatever. I saw pickleball courts.
Very recent.
Everywhere.
I've been gone 4 years, so in the last 4 years, pickleball's taken over.
Sounds almost
And
exactly
for every
when
pickleball
took
court
over.
that is built, it seems like there are 3 tennis courts that fall into disrepair.
Well, you can fit 4 pickleball courts in one
No,
tennis
now
court,
you
so-
sound like one of the picklers. That's the problem. Is these pickleball people are taking up the good tennis courts,
Right.
and they only need half the court,
Yeah.
and they use the entire thing, and it's
Yeah.
just like I'm telling you, it looks like a Rucker run out there. It's like you guys look like you're trying to play basketball, and it's for freaking pickleball, and it's a bunch of 60-year-old retired people, and I'm like,
I
come on,
think
y'all.
it's, I hope that it's a fad. You know what I
I
mean?
do too.
And not that there aren't people still doing this, but like frisbee golf got big for a while, or
Yeah.
like extreme frisbee. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
These like fringe
Niche
sports that
yeah.
like anybody could play. They
Right.
come and
Bocce ball.
It's fun for a while. What was the one where it's like
Spike ball.
Spike ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd see dudes playing spike ball in the park all the time. It'll come, it'll go, it'll pass. Don't worry.
Good. I hope not.
Although there's a lot of money
I hope
behind
so.
it. There's a lot of money behind it.
I think Tom Brady and I was telling Kevin Durant, I think now own a team in the pickleball league. It's crazy. I mean, like it's just like why are you guys playing
It's
this
a
game?
funny name.
Right.
It's a funny
it's
name
the
for a
worst
sport.
name.
Yeah.
We have a question to ask you before
Yes,
we
sir.
get to that. I just wanted to let you know that first of all, Chris Watkins was just a single shy of the cycle last night in the slow pitch softball.
Hey,
Free treat.
all right,
Yeah.
baby.
Come on.
Yeah.
I put my shoes on one
And,
foot at a time.
and
How many
Kyle-
RBI?
Yeah.
3 or
You've
4.
driven in a
3 or
few,
4,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
The triple
There you
scored
that
twos.
a boy. There we
He was
go.
a solo homer.
And
Okay.
Kyle over there is celebrating his 14th birthday.
I already
Hey.
told Kyle today, happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
and
Kyle.
soon you'll be able to drive. My
Can't
man,
wait.
that's
I know. We're
Yeah,
getting our
very
permit
cool.
after this.
Very, very cool.
All
Very
right, so
cool.
you've been covering sports, following sports, talking about sports a long time. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes a GM is in a situation where he has to say things he doesn't really want to say.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, you may have heard this already. Mitch Kupchak last night found himself in one of those situations because the Charlotte Hornets had the second pick and they picked Brandon Miller, and a lot of people there in Charlotte were happy about it. Looks like the mascot actually slumped over.
That was
Although there's
hilarious.
some dispute over what exactly happened there. So this is Mitch Kupchak after that happened, after they made the pick, explaining to the media why they didn't pick Scoot Henderson.
Well, everything that every answer we got to every question. I would say, he is a freshman, right? So, he's a little bit, I would say younger than, I wouldn't say younger. No, I bet not even go in that direction, actually.
This next question.
Is that the worst answer to any question you've ever heard from a sports GM?
I don't know about ever, but that's pretty bad, man.
It's pretty bad.
That is pretty bad.
I can tell you the exact moment he realized Brandon Miller was born in 2002 and Scoot Henderson was born in 2004.
Younger. Well, I wouldn't say younger. I want to go that direction.
Right there.
Oof. That's rough.
To me, that's a guy saying, I didn't make the pick.
Yeah, that's what I would say if I was him.
Yeah.
What's he got to lose? Michael Jordan's
what I'm
not going to
saying.
be
Right,
his boss.
right.
I'd be like, hey, guys, I didn't do it. All right, I'll talk to you next time. Peace. I'm out. That'd be the whole press conference. Yeah.
Not a pickleball man.
In his defense, he got asked a real tough question of why did you pick that guy?
Right.
How would he have known that question was coming? Blindsided him completely.
Yeah, for real. They didn't prepare for that.
No.
Like, all right, here's what we're going to tell them. We know you didn't make the pick, but here's what we're going to tell them. They just sent them out there. They're like, go get him, Mitch.
Like, I wasn't even in the room when they made the choice, honestly. Like I haven't been a part of this decision-making process at all.
And then as far as the mascot, Hugo the Hornet flopping over somebody today on the YouTube chat said, no, it was bad timing. He was on a railing, which Chris verified he was. And he had to lean down and to get down off the railing.
But claims unfortunate timing.
He looked pretty disappointed.
Yeah. You saw some shoulders slump.
For sure. Yeah. Dude, every once in a while, I think the guy in the mascot, outfit forgets that he's in a mask. He's just a guy. You know what I mean? He's a Charlotte Hornets fan reacting and like, oh, come on.
You mean like that time Mr. Met gave someone the finger, like that moment?
Yeah. It happens. You know, you're just a dude. You know what I mean? I forget what I'm wearing sometimes. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Some people are like, I like your hat.
I've told you guys before, when people compliment my hat, I have to take off my hat and look, and this is the hat I'm wearing today. You know what I mean?
All the time.
Mascots forget that they're mascots sometimes. I'm convinced.
Yeah, well, he's not going to be a
Mascot
mascot for long.
Not very long. No.
What do y'all have coming up today?
Lots of talk about the Kings draft, a lot of nonsense. We'll have in other news at 5:45. We have our we'll go on the record at 3:30. Put some predictions on the record and check our averages. It's a Friday, so we're gonna have some fun, and I'm gonna see if my voice will last.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to that. Nothing like a Friday with Cattles and Rami. Today it's Rami and JJ. They're
Yes,
next,
sir.
right here. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening to Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
What's up? I'm going to drink. And I'm going to Toronto.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with